Today's story I want to tell will go back to the Hong Huang era of the cultivation world. Before you watch, please give me a like and subscribe. The Hong Huang era is considered the golden age, where true immortals, dark immortals run like dogs in the field. Later in the era of great sages, even true immortals had high cultivation, and saints could only be counted on one hand. Everything started on a continent drifting in mid-air, surrounded by spiritual weapons. The prologue is a great general tiger demon, leading his followers aggressively forward. In front of them, now he is our protagonist. He is leisurely taking a long nap in front of the watching tiger demon, seeing the protagonist. The great general tiger demon turned to ask his subordinates, "Is it really him?" The subordinates immediately gritted their teeth and exclaimed, "Indeed, it is him. 2 years ago he used a magic weapon made from 24 pearls, with perfect celestial cultivation. He killed Snake General Cultivation Tai E early stage of Golden Immortal under Jiao-Ing Lord's command in the blink of an eye." Hearing a brief overview of the previous events, the great General Tiger Demon angrily stepped forward, releasing his power and shouted loudly. "Are you the one who killed Snake General?" Our main character, who was resting, suddenly sensed the aura of demon beasts and woke up. His eyes looked a bit blurry as he gazed at the traces of evil energy floating in front of him. As the opponent appeared within his sight, our main character, after a moment of drowsiness, turned his body smoothly and continued on his journey to sleep. The tiger demons beside him were extremely angry at his disrespectful actions. "He's just a little guy who dares to underestimate the great tiger general. Great tiger general, why waste words on him? Just go and kill him." The tiger general smirked, showing his sharp teeth, cultivating only at the Tai E early stage of dark immortal. Yet facing my aura so calmly. Then the magic weapon must be extraordinary. He then looked towards the main character and loudly exclaimed, "Little friend, both I and Snake General are under the command of Jiao-Ing Lord. Jiao-Ing Lord is extremely fond of the 24 pearl beads. I wonder if the little friend can give up that cherished item. In this way, it can also eliminate the grudge of the Snake General before. Jiao-Ing Lord absolutely no longer calculates with you." While resting, some demon beasts came to disturb. The male lead showed annoyance and raised his hand high, pointing towards this tiger general. "Have you ever heard of discomfort upon awakening?" Then a beam of golden Tao force crossed the face of the tiger general, making him slightly frightened. In the blink of an eye, a bright streak had passed, leaving intricate marks on his surface. He angrily raised his hand to gather spiritual energy. The radiant golden light shimmered like flames. Curses echoed, highlighting his brutality. "You little rotten guy. You have some courage, yet dare to attack me. It seems I can't keep you anymore." Finishing his words, he punched forward forcefully, his aura strong like a storm, sweeping the surrounding space, the punch like a destructive electric current drawing in the air, a bright streak stretching out. As for the male lead still peacefully asleep, upon the opponent's attack, his spiritual energy collided, creating spiraling spiritual weapons like a storm, forming a dome of energy stretched round between sky and earth. The continent was suddenly shattered by a blow from the tiger general, engulfed in smoke and flames everywhere. In front of him now was only a devastated space from his recent punch. After delivering a deadly blow, he smirked, looking ahead. "You little guy from your rotten house are only this much." Suddenly, something appeared in front of him that left him in awe. The magic pearls then appeared consecutively, causing chaos among the tiger demons. These pearls, what is happening?" The subordinate next to him trembling pointed forward. "Tiger, great tiger general, I remember now, it was this trick that finished off the Snake General before." As he finished speaking, the pearls floated in the air, immediately rushing towards the tiger demon group. The two subordinates of the tiger general were also attacked by the pearls, to the astonishment of the tiger general. He then began to use the power of his own rage, roaring loudly. In an instant, he transformed into a large ferocious tiger. "Tigers do not roar. Do you think you are a weak and sickly wild cat?" Before he could finish his sentence, a pearl pierced straight through his chest. With just one move from the protagonist, a large hole was left in his opponent's body. The excruciating pain surged through him, and within seconds, his upper body shattered into countless tiny pieces of flesh. The pearls were then reabsorbed into the protagonist's body. You couldn't even withstand one strike. After dispatching the tiger demon, his system chimed in with a notification: "Congratulations to the host for completing the task of killing the tiger general, earning 10,000 breakthrough points." The system has detected that the host has accumulated enough breakthrough points and is now automatically advancing the realm. In an instant, he advanced to the Tai-E Dark Immortal Great Perfection realm. Seeing himself suddenly level up, he was a bit annoyed. Damn it, the system is messing with me again. I really didn't want to break through anymore. The story goes back 1,000 years. In his previous life, Yi Xian became a vegetative state patient due to an accident. After he fully died, he crossed over to the world of cultivation during the Honghuang period, becoming an ordinary cultivator. In his dazed state, floating continents suddenly appeared before his eyes. While his body was still fuzzy and his face full of worry, he murmured to himself, "Where am I exactly?" In a moment, the system began to appear, saying, "This is the Kunlun mountain of the cultivation world, the era of Honghuang." Seeing the system appear out of nowhere, Yi Xian panicked and fell to the ground. Could it be that I have crossed over into the cultivation world from the novel? Immediately after that, he tremblingly reached out to touch the orb in front of him. What is this? As soon as he touched it, the system announced, "I am the Breakthrough Realm system. By completing random tasks of the system, you can receive breakthrough points, along with any rewards." Saying this, the system emitted countless colorful lights, making Yi Xian even more panicked. After floating Yi Xian in the air through the system, from the announcement of, "Reaching the peak of cultivation in this world will enter the Hongmeng world, escaping the earthly realm," Yi Xian, after hearing the system's words through the loudspeaker, turned his head with disgust. Who would want a breakthrough realm? Going to that lonely world with nothing there. What difference does it make from my vegetative state? I don't want to waste this freedom, Yi Xian thought. Shortly after, he sat by the fire, ready to enjoy his dinner. Besides, how could Hongmeng have such a delicious fragrance? Truly, the Honghuang world is the best. Hongmeng doesn't have anything this tasty. Just as Yi Xian was about to take a big bite, the system suddenly announced, "Congratulations, host, for completing the system's random mission of hunting the celestial crane. You have received 1,000 breakthrough points and the Hongmeng formula. The system has detected that the host has enough points to break through and is now automatically advancing the realm, immediately." Numerous streams of spiritual energy surged towards Yi Xian. Suddenly forced into a breakthrough, he pointed to the sky and shouted, "3 generations of your ancestors, you wretched system, back in the present, under the clouds covering the sky." Yi Xian angrily cursed the system, "Forcing me to level up after defeating the tiger general, you wretched system, you can't stand it unless you make me level up, right? System, open my attribute table." The system then activated and displayed Yi Xian's attribute table. His realm now stood at the early stage of Golden Immortal with the Blue Bamboo bloodline. He possessed various treasures, including the Divine Pearl Inborn Spiritual Treasure of mid-grade, the 5-color box Postnatal Supreme Treasure of top grade, and the Glazed Bottle Postnatal Supreme Treasure of 8 treasures top grade. His secret technique was the Hongmeng formula, and his talents included the magic weapon Refining Furnace and a single breakthrough point. Looking at his attribute table and seeing his realm had reached Golden Immortal, Yi Xian was extremely dissatisfied. "I really don't want to break through anymore," he complained. At that moment, numerous rays of tribulation light descended from the high sky, illuminating the floating continents. Seeing the rays of tribulation light shining down from the sky, Yi Xian was somewhat surprised. What's going on? Am I being condemned just for not wanting to break through? Suddenly, a voice echoed across the sky. "I am Hongyu, and today I have become a saint. In 100 years, I will begin teaching at the Purple Chaos Palace beyond the 33 heavens. Those who are destined may come and listen." Yi Xian lay dazed on the rock, gazing up at the sky. So, Hongyu has officially become a saint and is starting to teach. No matter what, it has nothing to do with me. I don't bother to go to Purple Chaos Palace to listen to any lectures. If there is a breakthrough, it will only bring more trouble. The system rang out another notification, making Yi Xian more and more annoyed. The system has detected that the host has encountered the oppression of a saint. Congratulations, the host has gained a new talent from the system called God Pressure. Through the examination, it was found that the host's blood energy is surging. Congratulations on the breakthrough of the host's bloodline rank to the Death Bamboo level, automatically accelerating cultivation speed. With God Pressure, the host will no longer be affected by the oppression of a saint. Arrogant and self-assured, Yi Xian beside him was increasingly dissatisfied with his dam system. What's the point of this? Can I break through just by standing up? If one day I truly break through to Chaos Supreme, I will make your dog head Hongyu explode first. While he was still muttering to himself, suddenly 3 rays of Dao aura appeared in front of him, signaling the arrival of 3 experts from the fairy world in this Honghuang world. The white-haired figure is Yuan Shi Tianzun, who just appeared and immediately focused his attention on Yi Xian. Thought which immortal family breakthrough, turns out to be just a little guy at the early stage of Golden Immortal. Seeing the 3 great figures in the world of Cultivating Immortals, Yi Xian was a bit surprised. He quickly clasped his hands and saluted, "Little guy Yi Xian, greetings to the 3 seniors." One of them was Tong Tian, the leader of the Honghuang Immortal Realm, the other was Tai Shang Lao Jun, also known as Lao Zi or Dao de Tianzun. At that moment, Tai Shang Lao Jun turned his gaze towards Tong Tian and asked, "Tong Tian, what are you doing?" Tong Tian leader held Yi Xian's hand tightly and said, "I met this little guy 1,000 years ago. Back then, he was just a beginner heavenly immortal. It's unbelievable that in just 1,000 years, he has advanced from the heavenly immortal stage to the early stage of golden immortal so quickly. The 3 of us are not a match for him. Little guy, are you interested in joining our Dao sect?" Yuan Shi Tianzun looked attentively at Yi Xian and said, "Such talent. I have only heard of it for the first time and have never seen it before." Yi Xian scratched his head shyly and said, "You seniors are too kind. I can't even tell them that I have been sleeping for 1,000 years." After defeating a group of tiger demons to achieve such a realm, Tai Shang Lao Jun suddenly shouted, startling Yi Xian and Tong Tian leader. "This is not right, why is this young man not affected by the Hongyu sect? Everyone else fell to the ground but he can stand firm," Tai Shang Lao Jun said. Next, Yuan Shi Tianzun slowly approached to observe. Tong Tian leader tightly held Yi Xian's hand and said, "You have a connection with the Dao sect, so accept to be our disciple." Yi Xian, scared, refused and said he only wanted to become a normal cultivator. However, Yi Xian's eyes turned fearful when Tong Tian leader reminded him of the consequences if news of his refusal to become their disciple was revealed. In the end, Yi Xian had to respond, "This disciple understands." Tong Tian leader warned that if someone with the potential like Yi Xian didn't become their disciple, they could become a difficult enemy to control in the future. Thus, to eliminate a potential threat, I have to disappear, Yi Xian mused. Tong Tian leader beside him smiled smugly. "My disciple, you are indeed understanding," he said. Forced into a corner and coerced into becoming a disciple, Yi Xian had no choice but to bow his head and change his form of address. "Thank you, Master." Tong Tian then turned towards Yuan Shi Tianzun and Tai Shang Lao Jun. "By the way, Master is planning to go with your 2 uncles to the Purple Chaos Palace to listen to Hongyu Saint's lecture on the vast avenue. This will be very beneficial for increasing your cultivation," he said. Upon hearing that he had to go to the Purple Chaos Palace for the lecture, Yi Xian was taken aback. He quickly found an excuse and leapt into the air. "Master, I have other matters to attend to," he said, trying to flee. Yi Xian soared through the sky, attempting to escape from Tong Tian leader. In a flash, Tong Tian leader swiftly caught up to him, grabbing Yi Xian by the hair. "Don't be in such a hurry, my disciple. Let master take you there, he said. In the end, Yi Xian was dragged away by Tong Tian leader, shouting incessantly, "Master, please let me go." The scene shifts to the holy land of Hongyu, a sacred continent rising amidst the layers of clouds. At this moment, Tong Tian leader, Tai Shang Lao Jun, Yuan Shi Tian Zun, and Yi Xian have also arrived at the Purple Chaos Palace. While the three seniors were chatting, Yi Xian quietly tried to escape. Tong Tian, on the side, saw Yi Xian trying to flee and sternly exclaimed, "Where do you think you're going, young one?" Realizing that he had been discovered, Yi Xian quickly waved his hand and pretended, "It's a bit stuffy here, I just want to go out and breathe some fresh air." Tong Tian, with an angry face and intense red eyes, stared at Yi Xian and said, "Young one, the storms outside the palace can easily tear apart all beings below the realm of the Golden Immortal. You should patiently wait for my summons." Yi Xian across from him swallowed a large gulp of saliva in fear. "I understand, disciple." Then his face clearly showed disappointment and he sighed, "I won't be able to escape this time." Just then, at the gate of the Purple Chaos Palace, a pair of male and female guards were standing watch. The girl was Yao Qi, with a graceful and innocent appearance, her eyes fixedly staring at Yi Xian. Yi Xian suddenly turned his eyes towards the girl, causing Yao Qi to jerk. Seeing Yao Qi's shy appearance, he was also a little surprised, his eyes still focused on the girl's body. Yao Qi was in a state of panic, silently thinking, has he discovered that I was peeking at him? Those who can come to Purple Chaos Palace are great powers, they probably won't care about me, right? After a moment of thought, Yao Qi looked up at Yi Xian. He now had a sly look on his face, staring intently at the girl's chest. In the face of Yi Xian's sly gaze, Yao Qi quickly stepped back and asked, "Senior, what's the matter here?" On the opposite side, Yi Xian stroked his chin with a sly look. With malicious thoughts in mind, although still young, but starting to have a shape, a bright future ahead, while he was excitedly staring at Yao Qi's body, suddenly something appeared that made his eyes become serious. Yao Qi clearly showed a shy and somewhat worried expression. Could it be that senior wants to blame me for peeking? In front of Yi Xian, a system was actually appearing. "Congratulations on completing the random task," Yi Xian smiled happily through the system panel. Teasingly looking at Yao Qi, the reward accompanying it was the Black Lotus, a purple divine weapon. What about Yao Qi? Could it be that the little girl is the Queen Mother, and the boy next to her is Emperor Hao Tian? The system on the side continued to announce the functions of each item. The Black Lotus is a divine treasure from the celestial realm, with 12 levels of world-destroying power, capable of releasing many demon chi to suppress the evil spirits of the world. The purple sky fruit is formed by the divine tree spiritual roots Buli, absorbing the essence of heaven and earth to bloom in 5,000 years. Bear fruit in 5,000 years, and mature in 5,000 years, using it can increase cultivation. Yi Xian kept silently pondering, noting Yao Qi's worried expression. This Black Lotus is truly powerful for world destruction, but the purple sky fruit, oh. Isn't this poisonous for me? Well, it's fine, thanks to Yao Qi I obtained a top-quality heavenly immortal treasure, giving her a few pieces is the least I can do. After a moment of thought, he quickly approached and placed the purple sky fruit in Yao Qi's hand, leaving her astonished. Seeing the purple sky fruit, Yao Qi widened her eyes in shock, and Dong Nan eagerly came over to observe. Indeed, this is the purple sky fruit, which can enhance cultivation. She looked at Yi Xian and asked, "Senior, what is your intention here?" Standing in front of Yao Qi, Yi Xian laughed and waved his hand hastily. "I see that the two of you have a connection with me, so I am giving you these two spiritual fruits." Hao Tian immediately clasped his hands in respect. "May I ask how to address you, senior?" "This item is very precious to Hao Tian, and I am grateful for your kindness." While bowing, Hao Tian's eyes glanced towards Yi Xian. Yi Xian, at the same time, entered a state of advancing to a higher realm in front of everyone. Yao Qi was bewildered. Senior Yi seems to be breaking through, so powerful. Hao Tian also realized, widened his eyes in amazement. How can this be? Just a moment ago there were no signs, and in a few seconds he started to break through. Yi Xian Sr. is truly mysterious. At this moment, two people with an immortal aura appeared. The man with green hair is named Fu Shi, and the woman next to him is Nu Hua. Nu Hua's eyes are always focused on Yi Xian. Is that little friend of yours breaking through? Yi Xian, in a dazed manner, broke through to the middle stage of the Golden Immortal Realm. The system announced after helping the host break through, "Congratulations on completing the hidden task, rewards for Hao Tian and Yao Qi, receiving 20,000 breakthrough points." Seeing the system notification, Yi Xian couldn't help but feel angry. I don't even know if I should consider it trash and throw it away. The system is too deceptive. Isn't this just tricking me into breaking through the realm again? Yao Qi looked at Yi Xian with a curious expression. Senior breaking through so gently, must be very happy, right? Yi Xian, upon hearing this, awkwardly smiled in front of Yao Qi. Haha, I'm very happy. Tong Tian leader also appeared, excitedly shouting, I can't believe that in just a blink of an eye, you have already broken through. Yuan Shi Tian Zun behind him spoke in a deep voice. Truly a genius. Before arriving at Purple Chaos Palace, he had just broken through from Tai Yi early stage of Dark Immortal to early stage of Golden Immortal, and now he has broken through to the middle stage of Golden Immortal. Seeing the three great powers approaching, Yi Xian, Yao Qi, and Hao Tian immediately bowed in respect. Greetings master and two uncles, Yao Qi, Hao Tian, greetings three seniors. Before the meeting of the three great powers and Yi Xian, the crowd of immortals kept discussing, is there really someone with such talent in this world? It's no wonder he is the disciple of the three great powers, it won't be long before he surpasses us. Nu Hua, observing Yi Xian from a distance, thought to herself, in just a short time, he has broken through a significant realm and a minor realm. What secrets does this little friend hold? She then approached Yi Xian. Daoist friend, you are truly interesting. Clearly you have just broken through to a higher realm of power, but your face seems a bit unhappy. Do you feel unsatisfied with just breaking through a minor realm? Yi Xian looked up at Nu Hua with a solemn expression. I am indeed not satisfied with just breaking through a minor realm. Immediately after that, Nu Hua and Fu Shi proceeded to perform the ritual. Sorry for being late, Nu Hua, Fu Shi. I would like to introduce my Daoist friends. Yi Xian on the opposite side quickly greeted. I am Yi Xian, and this is the Holy Mother of the Nu Hua tribe. Truly beautiful above all things, like a fairy. At the same time, Hao Tian and Yao Qi also cheered. According to the master's orders, the time has come. The large gate of the Purple Chaos Palace will open, and you can enter to listen to the teachings. Finishing his words, the large gate of the Purple Chaos Palace slowly opened before everyone. Hao Tian beside also reminded, Yi Xian Sr. must enter the palace later. And must sit on the futon to receive great opportunities, remember that. Hearing the reminder, Yi Xian quickly entered. If I remember correctly, after sitting on the futon, everyone will become disciples of the senior Hongyu. With that, they will receive the essence of Hong Meng, the ultimate chaos golden immortal. Can you grant me the essence so I can quickly become a saint? Nearby, Tong Tian leader walked into the palace and glanced at Tai Shang Lao Jun, asking, can sitting on the futon bring great fortune? After receiving a nod from Tai Shang Lao Jun, Tong Tian leader quickly grabbed Yi Xian by the hair and pulled him away, causing him to panic. The three great powers immediately occupied the futon. Tong Tian leader threw Yi Xian onto the futon next to him, and he was forced to sit on the futon in confusion. After sitting down, Yi Xian jumped up high and avoided the futon, then sighed in relief, phew. That was too dangerous just now. Tong Tian leader saw this and asked, what are you doing, junior? Yi Xian replied, as a junior disciple, sitting with the uncles and masters is not considered causing chaos in hierarchy. The other great powers quickly rushed to take their seats. Yi Xian stood next to the futon observing, while a nun approached and spoke. This little friend, I come from a distant western land, if you are not seated here, can you give me a place to rest? Yi Xian heard this and immediately turned around, asking, "Are you a messenger from the west?" The nun then introduced herself, "Yes, I am Zhuan Ti, one of the western messengers." Upon learning the identity of the other person, Yi Xian turned away directly, causing the other person to be astonished. "In that case, I cannot give up." He then reached out towards Nu Hua, saying, "Nu Hua, would you like to take a seat?" Faced with Yi Xian's invitation, Nu Hua was a bit surprised, and Fu Shi smiled and urged her, "Junior sister, go ahead." Nu Hua happily accepted the invitation and thanked Yi Xian. While Zhuan Ti stood beside, fuming with anger, Yi Xian then smiled and led the way for Nu Hua, saying, "It's just a small gesture." Zhuan Ti's face twisted in anger, and the next moment he rushed to a pillar and shouted, "I traveled thousands of miles from the west to here, and I can't even get a seat, I might as well just die." A nearby Taoist friend saw the injustice and quickly ran over to intervene. "Do not be reckless." Zhuan Ti saw someone actively rushing towards her, she immediately put on a sly smile. In an instant, she used her agility to disappear in front of the Taoist friend who was approaching. Seizing the opportunity, she quickly rushed to occupy the futon for meditation, expressing her gratitude to the Taoist friend for giving way. Just as she was about to reach the futon, Yi Xian appeared, reaching out to firmly stop her. Taoist friend Zhuan Ti, looking for death shouldn't be done here, right? Zhuan Ti, with a sweaty face, glanced at Yi Xian, thanking her for pointing it out. The Taoist friend who had tried to take the futon quickly returned to his own futon in front of Zhuan Ti's shocked face. "Thank you to the Taoist friend for timely saving the Western envoy." Yi Xian, after successfully preventing the other from taking someone else's futon, smiled cunningly, saying it was just a small favor. Zhuan Ti began to feel resentful, filled with anger at the crowd's mockery. To use such low means, even lower than a little friend golden immortal, I feel ashamed. Feeling humiliated, she was extremely angry. A junior golden immortal acting so arrogantly. Dare to insult me like that, in the future I will definitely make him lose face. Suddenly, the notification sound from Hao Tian caught Yi Xian's attention. "Silence, no noise is allowed inside the Purple Chaos Palace, the master is about to start preaching." As soon as he finished speaking, an old man with silver hair and beard appeared in a majestic manner, surprising everyone. He was Hongyu Saint, who would impart his teachings to everyone today. The appearance of the old man continuously spread a coercive pressure towards the opposite side. Before the oppressive aura of the old man, countless people couldn't bear it and fell to the ground. Just the pressure alone is so heavy. Hongyu is truly unfathomable. Is this really Hongyu? Is this the person who has been sabotaging the speed of my cultivation? Under his own oppressive aura, old Hongyu was slightly surprised to see many people still standing below. Surely our protagonist is among them. But this Zhuan Ti woman could still stand there trembling. In less than a minute, Zhuan Ti fell to the ground and hit her head on the floor, shocking Yi Xian. Seeing the other party unable to withstand the pressure of old Hongyu, Yi Xian stood behind, secretly teasing and mocking. "How can you sit like that, ambassador? Even without a futon, you don't have to kneel like that, right?" Seeing Yi Xian unaffected by his pressure, Elder Hongyu was a bit surprised. A golden immortal cultivator like that not affected by my pressure. After thinking for a moment, the elder quickly withdrew his oppressive aura. Hao Tian, standing next to him, announced loudly to all the cultivators present. Those who were overwhelmed by the elder Hongyu's pressure. "Seats will be arranged later, no more disputes. The master has started lecturing, no more noise." Zhuan Ti, with a grimace, was on the brink of anger but dared not act. The lecture by Elder Hongyu was then transmitted to all the cultivators. And a solemn aura immediately enveloped the main hall. In chaos, there is a quiet and empty place. The beginning of heaven and earth is the goal of all things, the joy of great fame, the direction of self-cultivation. Seeing the system notification that his cultivation was skyrocketing, Yi Xian panicked and thought to himself, "Oh no, if I listen to Hongyu's lecture, won't I break through again? This can't be happening," Yi Xian thought. In a quick decision, he used the golden cicada molting technique to escape from the main hall of the Purple Chaos Palace. As he slipped away, Hao Tian and Yao Qi heard a noise. "What was that sound?" asked Hao Tian. "I must have misheard," replied Yao Qi. Once outside the main hall of the Purple Chaos Palace, Yi Xian stretched and yawned deeply. "I hope no one noticed," he muttered. Just as he was about to leave, he bumped into a fierce-looking demon king. Yi Xian, unfazed, walked past him confidently. Suddenly, the demon king spoke, stopping Yi Xian in his tracks. "Little friend, please wait," with a menacing and arrogant expression. The demon king stared at Yi Xian. "It seems we've met somewhere before, haven't we?" Yi Xian smiled and extended his hand in greeting. "Taoist friend, you must be mistaken. I've always been deep within Kunlun Mountain and have never stepped outside." "How could you have met me?" The demon king forced a smile and replied, "Then I must have been mistaken. I hope you are not offended, Taoist friend. I shall take my leave now." With that, both turned and walked in opposite directions. Surprisingly, the demon king had been using his magic to attack Yi Xian, leaving him extremely shocked. After a relentless series of attacks, a loud explosion echoed as rocks shattered and flew everywhere. In the next moment, the demon king changed his attitude, emitting bloodlust as he stared fiercely at Yi Xian. Are you the one who killed my tiger general?" Yi Xian, sensing the imminent attack, immediately took a defensive stance. "If there's a worthy opponent, I will take the risk." Jiao Ying, on the other side, glared angrily at Yi Xian and then unleashed his magical power towards him. Yi Xian remained calm as he looked at Jiao Ying. "You must be the Jiao Ying that tiger mentioned. Right? What if I am correct? What if I am not?" In response to Yi Xian's arrogant words, Jiao Ying angrily displayed his dark magic, gathering a large amount of spiritual energy. "You will die." His attack was immediately directed towards Yi Xian with great force. Facing the opponent's dark magic, Yi Xian stood his ground confidently, without any fear, and then used his pearl, his own magical weapon, to counter it. With just a pearl, he was able to easily withstand the powerful techniques of Jiao Ying. Jiao Ying was somewhat amazed as he closely observed his opponent. Just a mid-level golden immortal can withstand for so long. "I will now give you another choice: submit under my command, and I will forgive everything you have done before." At this moment, Yi Xian raised his hand to condense spiritual energy and replied, "Fine, but you can wait until the next life to say that." In response to Yi Xian's actions, Jiao Ying was extremely surprised when he heard those words. In anger, he quickly waved his hand to control his magic power and attacked Yi Xian, saying, "If you want to die like this, then I will send you into reincarnation." Faced with numerous attacks from his opponent, Yi Xian quickly used his pearl magic weapon to defend himself. Meanwhile, Jiao Ying continued to unleash his own power, with eyes filled with hatred, saying, Just childish tricks." The pearl magic weapon then swiftly launched towards Jiao Ying. Seeing himself being attacked, Jiao Ying smirked satisfactorily and used his magic to counter the attack. After successfully blocking the strike, he looked confidently towards the pearl magic weapon. Yi Xian continued to manipulate the remaining pearls, laughing in excitement. Simultaneously, Jiao Ying was struck from behind by the magical weapon pearls, causing him immense pain. Jiao Ying screamed in rage, "Since when did you?" The pearls showed signs of cracking as they attacked Jiao Ying. In an instant, all three pearls exploded with formidable power, their destructive force shaking the holy land of Hongyu amidst the clouds. Jiao Ying mustered all his strength into his fist and charged towards Yi Xian, shouting, "I will make sure you are torn to pieces." Yet, Yi Xian remained calm and unafraid, holding something in his hand. The system began to analyze and informed him, "This is a fragment of the heavenly Tao." Surprised, Yi Xian gripped the fragment tightly. "What?" the system promptly announced. "Congratulations to the host for obtaining a fragment of the heavenly Tao, earning 100,000 breakthrough points. The host has unlocked the intermediate level Hong Huang Chaos mission upon first acquiring a fragment. The system has detected that the host has enough points to break through the realm, initiating automatic breakthrough. Yi Xian broke through in the middle of the battle, while Jiao Ying was still charging forward with his fist. What's happening now? How dare you break through while fighting? You dare break through while fighting, then don't blame me for the consequences, you brought this upon yourself, he said indistinctly. Suddenly, the figure of Lord Hongyu appeared, causing Jiao Ying to widen his eyes in astonishment. Stop your hands quickly, seeing Lord Hongyu, Jiao Ying quickly withdrew his demonic energy and landed on the ground. His face now looked extremely worried and fearful. Lord Hongyu, why do you want to spare this little guy? What is the background of this little guy after all? Faced with the power of Hongyu, he quickly bowed in reverence. Jiao Ying is not destined to hear the preaching today, I apologize in advance. After bidding farewell, he immediately left the Purple Chaos Palace of Lord Hongyu. Inside, the preaching session of Lord Hongyu has also come to an end. This preaching session has come to an end, please reflect on it yourselves. Lord Hongyu slowly transformed into dust and disappeared before everyone. Once in 100 years, Purple Chaos Palace will begin preaching again in 100 years. After the preaching session of Lord Hongyu ended, the crowd of cultivators below immediately bowed to show their respect. Suddenly, a loud voice from behind echoed, belonging to Zhuan Ti, which surprised Lao Zi and Tong Tian, the leaders. Fu Shi then approached Yi Xian and asked, Yi Xian, little friend, what's wrong with you? As soon as he touched Yi Xian's body, it turned into a bamboo stick, leaving Fu Shi and Zhuan Ti extremely shocked. Fu Shi was a bit puzzled, staring at the bamboo stick. What is this? Why did he separate his body? Where did Yi Xian, little friend, go? Zhuan Ti picked up the bamboo stick beside him and laughed contemptuously. From what I see, it's because he's too foolish, not understanding the vast avenue. So he sneaked out of the Purple Chaos Palace to play around. Not everyone is fortunate enough to hear the vast avenue, but this brat should consider himself lucky. Haha. Tong Tian, with an angry expression, clenched his fist, saying, this rebellious disciple, I will expel him from the sect later. Just then, Yao Qi pointed outside the Purple Chaos Palace and shouted, surprising everyone inside, come quickly, Yi Xian Sr. is outside. The three great powers heard this and angrily walked out to meet Yi Xian. Everyone was surprised to see Yi Xian breaking through a realm in front of their eyes. Yuan Shi Tianzun looked intently ahead and expressed astonishment. He already broke through before entering the Purple Chaos Palace, why is he breaking through again like this? Then, Yi Xian woke up in a daze, realizing that he had broken through another realm and cried out in despair, why did I break through again like this? After struggling for a while, Yi Xian looked ahead in confusion and expressed surprise. Why are people crowding like that? What are they watching? Tong Tian angrily stood up to scold his rebellious disciple. Yi Xian was surprised to be scolded by Tong Tian and immediately showed fear. Tong Tian stared at Yi Xian and solemnly said, do you know what crime you have committed? Tong Tian was full of anger. Hongyu is the only saint in the heavens, you left secretly while he was teaching, aren't you afraid he will remember you? Yi Xian felt confused and tried to find an excuse to explain. Master, they also say that he is a saint, so how can he treat a lowly golden immortal like me in this way? Oh no, now I am already at the Tai early stage of golden immortal. How can he treat me with such importance? And his teaching method is so hard to understand, making me feel uncomfortable, no different from running away from home, Tong Tian said angrily. Lao Zi smiled next to him and said, all right, the disciple has already realized that you are pretending. Just now he had a breakthrough, aren't you happy? Tong Tian looked embarrassed and said, what are you talking about? How could that be? Fu Shi and Nu Hua approached, clapping their hands and congratulating Yi Xian on his breakthrough. Fu Shi expressed disappointment at Yi Xian's attitude, clearly having breakthroughs constantly. Why does Yi Xian need to pretend like that? Nu Hua also curious, before the breakthrough was the same, I'm afraid there is a reason for this. Yao Qi also approached and loudly congratulated, it would be better to say, Senior Yi Xian is interesting because of this. Yi Xian scratched his head, looking dejected and bored. If you guys are trying to ask, I don't want to hide it anymore. Nu Hua and Yao Qi quickly approached two bright, attentive eyes. Yi Xian, with a determined attitude, placed his hand on his chest. In fact, I want to break through the realm through my own efforts, not relying on talent and external factors. Yao Qi, excitedly, said, so that's it, no wonder even the purple sky fruit was given to us by you, Yi Xian Sr. Fu Shi, standing beside them, silently admired, so that's how it is, otherwise he wouldn't easily give up the opportunity to hear such great Tao. Nu Hua then showed interest. If that's the case, what kind of opportunity did Yi Xian little friend encounter outside the Purple Chaos Palace? Confused by Nu Hua's question. Yi Xian was somewhat surprised to find that all traces of the recent battle had completely disappeared. Where did the traces of the battle go? Yi Xian turned to look at Nu Hua, leaving her astonished. He stood there, staring ahead with a focused gaze. Nu Hua, standing opposite him, felt shy. What do you mean by looking at me like that, Yi Xian little friend? Why do you keep staring at me like that? Yi Xian was still observing Nu Hua at this moment, thinking to himself, could it be Master Hongyu? Did he actually intervene to help me during the battle breakthrough? Suddenly, Nu Hua's voice echoed, waking Yi Xian up. Yi Xian. Yi Xian little friend, you still haven't answered me. I'm still curious about the coincidence you encountered outside the Purple Chaos Palace that led to your breakthrough. He raised his hand to ponder, surprising the crowd with his words. Let me summarize this. I was inside not understanding Master Hongyu's great Tao, so I went outside to contemplate on my own. Suddenly, a golden light flew in front of me, causing me to break through. I couldn't see clearly what it was, I just knew it was filled with immeasurable spiritual weapons. Nu Hua smiled with interest after hearing this, so that's how it is. Yao Qi was about to speak but Nu Hua quickly covered her mouth, saying, I've heard of such cases before, but never witnessed one. It truly can be a miracle. Zhuan Ti, standing next to him, observed as he saw the sparkling dust with a glittering golden light. These golden particles have a strong residual scent of spiritual weapon. Could this be the key to his breakthrough? Zhuan Ti immediately bowed his head down and sniffed the entire layer of glittering golden dust in front of him. The crowd was amazed at her actions. Yi Xian smirked quietly, thinking to himself, after all, this golden pearl is a mid-grade heavenly immortal artifact, just went through a great battle so there must be many spiritual weapons left. Both of them looked at each other and laughed excitedly. Then they turned their eyes towards Zhuan Ti, continuing to joke, causing her to feel suspicious, sensing that something was not right. Zhuan Ti observed the layer of yellow dust in front of her. No, in fact, there are 3 types of spiritual weapons. This indicates that this dense type of spiritual weapon is not a celestial spiritual weapon but one created by humans. She then angrily looked at Yi Xian. How dare you play a trick on me? Yi Xian stood opposite, waving his hand quickly. Oh, I remember I didn't tell you to do anything. Aren't you just assuming you're smart? Zhuan Ti felt humiliated and clenched her fists, ready to confront him. I see that you are seeking death. Suddenly Yi Xian saw the figure of Yuan Shi Tianzun and became afraid, not daring to make a move. Yi Xian then clasped his hands and bowed in respect before the 3 great powers. Master, uncles, I think it's about time for us to return to Kunlun Mountain, Yi Xian said. Seeing Tong Tian leader looking angry, Yi Xian quickly spoke up. Master, please don't be too angry. When we return, I will roast some fairy ducks for you. Yuan Shi Tianzun nodded beside him. Yes, I also want to return to seclusion for cultivation, he said. Lao Zi glanced over. But there is no sun here, how do we tell the time? Tong Tian then grabbed Yi Xian's cheek and pulled him along, causing him pain and fear. Lao Zi followed behind, speaking loudly. The fairy ducks on Kunlun Mountain are all raised by your master, he said. Yi Xian, being dragged away, cried out. Uncle, why didn't you say so earlier? Before leaving, Yi Xian shouted loudly. Let's meet again next time. Nu Hua and Yao Qi below waved goodbye to Yi Xian, while Fu Shi watched attentively. Little friend Yi Xian with such great talent, yet so humble, it's really rare, Nu Hua said happily. He, I wonder what surprises he will bring next time, it's worth looking forward to. Zhuan Ti and Zhuan Ti bowed beside him. Yi Xian is teasing us again, how can we let him worry and go like that? Zhuan Ti reminded the senior brother, Jiayin, don't be in a hurry, Yi Xian has the support of the three pure ones, but just wait until the three pure ones leave, a small saint can be dealt with by us as we please. The scene shifted to the Tao sect of the three pure ones, a sacred place full of spiritual weapons. Time passed, and every day Yi Xian had to clean the courtyard, nearly 100 years had passed. After cleaning for a while, Yi Xian sat down tiredly, still holding a piece of heavenly Tao shard similar to before. Looking at the shard, Yi Xian thought to himself, what is this heavenly Tao shard? It harmed me in the battle, I should just throw it away. The system suddenly appeared, causing Yi Xian to panic and startle. Next is a series of notifications, the host has received a fragment of the heavenly Tao, so the first intermediate task has been unlocked, just need to collect enough 49 fragments of the heavenly Tao, when completed can perfect the world of Hong Huang, promotion of chaos, can stay in Hong Huang permanently. The fragments of the heavenly Tao come from the original Hong Huang, it appears everywhere in the world of Hong Huang, only the host can see it. Upon hearing this, Yi Xian felt discouraged, then slumped against the wall, so we don't have to wait a very long time. Suddenly, a democratic rooster approached and screamed, how lazy you are, only after one sweep, stand up quickly and sweep further for me. Yi Xian, standing next to him, showed disgust and waved his hand, have to sweep the temple every day, I don't want to do it anymore. The democratic rooster behind him, upon hearing this, became extremely angry, what? Aren't you afraid that after three pure ones come out of seclusion, they will punish you? I see you are getting bored with life. Yi Xian then immediately changed his expression, glanced at the democratic rooster, what do you mean by looking at me like that, what do you want to do? I warn you, I will become the enemy of the Tong Tian leader in the future. If you dare to lay a hand on me, the consequences are unimaginable, Yi Xian said, causing the democratic chicken to be shocked. Don't worry, my master will ride a bull in the future, not a phoenix, Yi Xian said with a hungry look at the chicken. The chicken was now extremely panicked, asking, what do you mean by that? With a longing look, Yi Xian stared at the chicken and said, I have been craving your meat for a long time. The chicken, in a panic, kept squawking, my meat is not tasty, I may look fat but it's all feathers. Suddenly, a piece of paper flew in from a distance, surprising Yi Xian. He quickly grabbed the paper and read the letter with delight. This is a letter from Nu Hua. Inviting me to visit since she has exited, he said happily. The chicken behind shouted loudly, if you casually leave Kunlun Mountain, Tong Tian leader will be angry. Yi Xian turned back with a cunning look, followed by a terrible scream from the chicken echoing through Kunlun Mountain. Regarding the three pure ones group, Yuan Shi Tian Zun also realized, we seem to have the same realization at the same time, it seems that we still can't distinguish who is higher and who is lower. Tong Tian leader next to him looked at Yuan Shi Tian Zun, excitedly laughing, so it seems that you have broken through to the quasi-saint level. At that moment, a familiar cry for help came, making both of them startle. What does that sound familiar? Let's go see, the democratic rooster, tightly bound over the fire, kept screaming for help, save us, Tong Tian leader, save us. Tong Tian then quickly broke the tightly bound rooster and extinguished the fire underneath. After being rescued, the rooster hurriedly thanked, thank you for saving us, leader. Yuan Shi Tian Zun quickly spoke up, disciple, when one is used to freedom, forcing them will only backfire. Tong Tian leader, feeling furious at the situation, said, this rebellious disciple still likes to make me angry, capture it and I will teach it a lesson. With that, Tong Tian sprinted off to search for Yi Xian, leaving the democratic rooster and Yuan Shi Tian Zun with fearful expressions. Tong Tian leader took matters into his own hands this time, and this time the boy Yi Xian is sure to be crippled. Yuan Shi Tianzun looked up in awe at Tong Tian's figure. His disciple's talent is extraordinary, he loves to act independently, while Tong Tian leader is too conservative. It seems there will be trouble in the future. Cut to the Buzhou Mountain, the holy land of cultivation of Nu Hua and Fu Shi. Nu Hua was lying on a small chair in front of her Dao sect, waiting for Yi Xian. Just a few minutes later, Yi Xian's voice surprised Nu Hua. Junior Yi Xian is here as promised, greeting Nu Hua. Nu Hua then smiled and looked at Yi Xian. No need to be so formal, please sit down. While observing, Yi Xian innocently asked, where is Senior Fu Shi? Nu Hua twitched her eyebrows in annoyance. Why are you asking about my senior so soon after arriving? He is also in seclusion. Yi Xian suddenly startled, his eyes staring at Nu Hua. So that's why, he was surprised to see a fragment of heavenly Tao above Nu Hua's head. Is that a fragment of heavenly Tao? After a moment of contemplation, he slowly approached Nu Hua, causing her to panic. Nu Hua, on the other side, was a bit hesitant in the face of Yi Xian's actions. Seeing his eyes staring at her, Nu Hua spoke up, what are you doing? Is there something on my face? Yi Xian, with a deep gaze, continued to stare at Nu Hua and then reached out his hand, saying, there's nothing, just. Seeing the other person casually putting his hand on his head, Nu Hua was slightly embarrassed and startled. Yi Xian, what are you doing, little friend? Yi Xian tightly grasped a piece of heavenly Tao fragment with his hand, then awkwardly explained, Nu Hua, when I first entered, I smelled a familiar scent. And as I got closer to you, the scent became stronger, like that of my elder sister, so I couldn't help but confirm it. Indeed, the scent on Nu Hua's body reminds me greatly of her. Nu Hua blushed, feeling embarrassed, you are shameless. She then turned her head and exclaimed loudly. Even so, if you do that again next time, be careful or I will hit you, she warned. At the same time, the system announced, congratulations to the host for obtaining a fragment of the heavenly Tao, earning 100,000 breakthrough points. The system has detected that the host has accumulated enough points for a breakthrough and is now proceeding to automatically break through the realm. Just like that, he initiated the breakthrough operation in front of Nu Hua. With so many spiritual weapons, could it be that Yi Xian is about to break through again? Tong Tian, while searching for Yi Xian, noticed the powerful fluctuations from the surrounding holy lands. Seeing the dense streams of spiritual weapons emanating from the Buzhou Holy Land, Tong Tian was astonished. Such a large flow of spiritual weapons, could it be that someone is breaking through? The image of Yi Xian immediately came to Tong Tian's mind. Could it be him? Tong Tian quickly used his patrol force to rush toward the Buzhou Holy Land to investigate. After the breakthrough, Yi Xian slowly opened his eyes and looked ahead. Nu Hua beside him immediately spoke, Yi Xian, little friend, have you broken through again? Yi Xian, startled and sweating profusely, replied, yes, I have broken through again. Immediately after that, the system analyzed Yi Xian's attribute information specifically. Yi Xian's current realm has reached the middle stage of Tai Yi Golden Immortal. The realms of cultivating immortals in this Honghuang period will be, Golden Immortal, Tai Yi Golden Immortal, Dalu Golden Immortal, Quasi-Saint Realm, Saint, Primordial Heavenly Tao, Saint combined with Tao, Primordial Great Tao Saint. Looking at his own attributes, Yi Xian felt a bit disappointed. I have only obtained 2 pieces of heavenly Tao fragments and I have already reached the realm of Tai Yi Golden Immortal. If this continues, won't I have to leave Honghuang after gaining wealth? Seeing Yi Xian's attitude after the breakthrough, Nu Hua was a bit puzzled. Clearly, any living being would be ecstatic after a breakthrough. Why does he seem a bit uneasy after breaking through? Could it be that Brother Yi has a hidden past that cannot be revealed? Yi Xian, on the side, cried out in despair, it's really annoying, why did I put in so much effort only to break through again? Thinking up to this point, he clenched his fist and said decisively, I have made up my mind, I must. Suddenly, at this moment, Nu Hua appeared next to him, making him jump in surprise. What do you want to do? Yi Xian exclaimed in surprise, jumping up and shouting, Nu Hua, when did you appear in front of me? Seeing Yi Xian's startled expression, Nu Hua smiled friendly. Are you okay? After calming down, Yi Xian cleared his throat and pretended to cough. Actually, it's nothing, I just wanted to ask if in the future, Nu Hua and Fu Shi Sr. would be honored to travel to Honghuang together. Nu Hua responded, sure, we'll wait for senior brother. Just then, Tong Tian leader appeared, stepping firmly on the ground. Tong Tian leader greets you. Hearing Tong Tian's voice, Yi Xian was startled and immediately bowed respectfully. Congratulations on your exit, your cultivation has been improved. Tong Tian then asked, what have you been doing while I was in seclusion for hundreds of years? Yi Xian quickly replied, didn't you punish me to walk in the Dao garden before, master? Tong Tian furrowed his brow and stared at Yi Xian. If you have not heard the great Dao before reaching this breakthrough, then forget about it, now you cultivate for hundreds of years and still achieve a breakthrough. I heard the great Dao of Hongyu and had to seclude myself for hundreds of years, yet only break through a small realm. This little guy named Yi Xian truly has extraordinary talent. Yi Xian directly responded to Tong Tian, if possible, I also don't want to break through anymore, master. I suddenly remembered something, maybe next time I shouldn't go to Purple Chaos Palace anymore. In front of Tong Tian's curious gaze, Yi Xian happily expressed, you see, I don't need to hear the great Dao, my realm has already broken through so forcefully like this. Tong Tian listened quietly, pondering, disciple, Hongyu Saint's great Dao is profound and mysterious. With your talent, if you seriously listen to the teachings, you will definitely have a major breakthrough. Suddenly, Yi Xian came up with a big idea, how about this, master? If this time I don't gain anything, then there's no need to go there in the future, what do you think? Tong Tian nodded in agreement, with a serious look in his eyes, that's fine. Yi Xian was extremely excited at Tong Tian's agreement, thinking to himself, as long as I run away when listening to the teachings, master can only do as promised. The next second, Tong Tian displayed a sinister, eerie smile. However, before that, I have one condition, you must go to the Purple Chaos Palace immediately and wait for me there, he demanded. Hearing this, Yi Xian hastily used all his strength to flee, attempting to escape Tong Tian's sight. But in no time, Tong Tian quickly grabbed his leg and dragged him away. Master, you're cheating. Yi Xian protested. As he dragged Yi Xian, Tong Tian could guess his intentions. Humph, do you think I don't know what you're trying to do? Yi Xian, showing his dissatisfaction, shouted loudly while being dragged away, Nu Hua, I'll wait for you at the Purple Chaos Palace. Nu Hua, still bewildered, waved and then smiled, amused. Alright, hee, these two master and disciple are quite interesting. Not long after, Tong Tian arrived at the Purple Chaos Palace and threw Yi Xian forcefully to the ground at the entrance. The impact was so strong that it immediately caused a shockwave explosion. Through the dust and debris, Yi Xian was seen lying with his head buried in the solid ground. After landing headfirst, Yi Xian sat up angrily. Master should at least be a little gentle, Tong Tian said and used a teleportation technique to disappear immediately, leaving Yi Xian repeatedly sighing as he walked alone towards the gate of Purple Chaos Palace with a weary look. Luckily, I am used to loneliness, previously only operating within the palace and the main gate, never had the chance to see other places. After observing the scenery of Purple Chaos Palace, he unexpectedly discovered a fragment of heavenly Tao lying amidst a formation containing countless thunderbolts. Excited at the prospect of obtaining another piece of the heavenly Tao, he reached out to touch the formation in front of him but felt uneasy, continuing to observe carefully. After pondering and observing, he searched in his robe for an item, took out a magic weapon, and threw it into the formation to test. The object collided with the formation, creating a distortion and causing the formation to tremble, creating a powerful wave. In just a few fleeting seconds, his magical weapon had turned to dust, leaving him in utter disbelief. This is my golden immortal mid-stage magical weapon, and yet it was destroyed by that spell. If I had gone in just now, I might have ended up in the underworld. But if I collect more pieces of the heavenly Tao, I could break through my realm. However, I may not go to Purple Chaos Palace in the future, so I might miss out on this piece." As he lamented, two streams of soul weapons suddenly streaked across the sky and landed in front of the main entrance of Purple Chaos Palace. It turned out to be Jiayin and Zhuan Ti, two foolish antagonists in this story. As they arrived, both revealed their sinister faces. "Are you sure Yi Xian is in Purple Chaos Palace?" Jiayin asked. "Don't worry, my magical weapon left there has sensed his soul weapon, so he is alone now," Zhuan Ti said with a malicious smile. "Yi Xian, this time let me see who can protect you," he added with evil intent. Meanwhile, Yi Xian stood before the spell formation, deeply immersed in studying and understanding it. After a while, he clapped his hands on his chest and neck with a heroic demeanor. "All right, I have made my decision, I must obtain this piece of the heavenly Tao." Our protagonist is now facing a formidable spell, with countless lightning bolts continuously striking down. Faced with the spell, our protagonist hesitated. "If I gather more pieces of the heavenly Tao, my realm will surely break through quickly, but if I don't gather them, what will happen when I lack this piece?" At this point, our protagonist stood up, clenched his fist on his chest. "Perhaps this time won't break through, but I must obtain this piece of the heavenly Tao." After saying that, Yi Xian rushed towards the spell. But as he approached, his whole body froze, lost in thought. At this moment, two spiritual weapons emitted a bright light and two antagonists appeared, Jiayin and Zhuan Ti. Both had the intention to ambush Yi Xian, followed by the sly and sinister face of Zhuan Ti, excitedly plotting his next move. Meanwhile, Yi Xian was still focused on analyzing the spell in front of him. "Why does it seem like I can't understand anything at all? It turns out that the French formation is so complicated." After a while of analysis, Yi Xian fell to the ground helplessly. "Well, I have to give up, this formation is basically unbreakable, I should go to another area of the Purple Chaos Palace." Suddenly, a painful sensation spread to Yi Xian's calf, making him shocked. After removing the pair of shoes he was wearing, mysterious golden light suddenly appeared on his calf. Seeing the puzzled owner, the system immediately came to announce the analysis. "The system has detected the thunder formation, automatically copying it for the host." Yi Xian was a bit puzzled, looking at his calf. "Copy the thunder formation? What's happening?" After a while, Yi Xian closed his eyes tightly and began to feel slowly. In his divine consciousness, countless images of the thunder formation appeared. His calf, which had just shown mysterious marks, now displayed images of golden clouds. Feeling that he had comprehended the thunder formation, he eagerly stepped into the formation. "So this is how it is, I can completely understand it now." In just a few seconds, he was able to comprehend the thunder formation. He easily frolicked inside the formation. Zhuan Ti and Jiayin also stepped forward simultaneously after sensing Yi Xian's aura. "Where do you say he is? I really felt Yi Xian's aura around here earlier." The sudden shaking of the Purple Chaos Palace's holy land surprised both of them. "What is this shaking? What is happening?" It seems that the shaking is coming from behind the Purple Chaos Palace. The entire Holy Land was now shaking violently, the spiritual weapons also began to oscillate, and nearby Yao Qi and Hao Tian also felt the vibration of the spiritual weapons. Seeing the current situation, both of them were scared and sweating. "What is happening?" It seems someone voluntarily entered the Fenbao Cliff. Seeing the unfavorable situation, they hurriedly rushed to Fenbao Cliff. "What is it?" "That is the thunderstorm formation set up personally by Elder Hongyu, even a quasi-saint cannot get out of it. Don't think too much, quickly go to Fenbao Cliff." Returning to the situation inside the formation, Yi Xian was still calmly taking steps deeper inside. Jiayin and Zhuan Ti then noticed the presence of Yi Xian. Seeing Yi Xian standing in front of them, old Jiayin excitedly pointed and said, "Look, Yi Xian is indeed here, he is alone, this is also a great opportunity bestowed by the heavens." Zhuan Ti quickly intervened by saying, "Wait a moment, Jiayin, don't rush, first look forward, After observing for a while, old Jiayin was shocked and confused. What kind of formation is this? Why have I never seen it before? Zhuan Ti, with a serious and contemplative look, observed, not only that, the changes within the formation can only be partially understood by us. Why can a weak golden immortal like him enter inside, seeing Yi Xian struggling inside the formation? Zhuan Ti showed obvious fear. This is the most mysterious and sinister formation I have ever seen. I cannot see through the changes inside, while old Jiayin clenched his teeth in anger next to him, but if someone else comes in a moment, we will lose this good opportunity. Zhuan Ti now looked helplessly at Jiayin. Although you say that, we must choose the safe way as our first priority. We'll have to find another way, Yi Xian muttered to himself. Inside the formation, he turned around in confusion and, upon spotting two Western emissaries, excitedly waved. Aren't you the two Western emissaries? What a coincidence! Outside the formation, Jiayin and Zhuan Ti grew angrier at Yi Xian's mocking smile. Zhuan Ti, irritated by Yi Xian's demeanor, frowned. It looks like he's saying something. Why can't we hear him? Jiayin, unable to contain his fury any longer, rushed towards the formation. He must have seen us and is mocking us. I'll enter the formation myself and capture him alive. Seeing the dangerous situation, Zhuan Ti quickly reached out to stop him. Brother Jiayin. Calm down for a moment. Ignoring Zhuan Ti's advice, Jiayin continued to charge forward. Zhuan Ti, his realm is only Tai Golden Immortal. Therefore, he definitely can't understand the mysteries of this formation. If he can enter it safely, then this formation must be a mere trick, designed to deceive powerful beings like us. Zhuan Ti, you can rest assured, just a few seconds and we can pull this little guy Yi Xian back. Lao Jiayin on the opposite side still sneered with contempt. Seeing the other side trying to force himself into the battle formation, Yi Xian hurriedly ran to stop him. Don't go in here, it's very dangerous. As soon as he stepped inside the battle formation, countless thunderous images appeared above his head, making him startle. Realizing he was facing a dangerous situation, he quickly released his blood energy to create a layer of golden armor to defend himself, but before the powerful attack of the battle formation, he immediately turned into dust. Yi Xian next to him also suffered from a strong offensive wave, pushing him back. Zhuan Ti outside also quickly shielded himself to avoid being affected by the powerful attack of the battle formation. This is how powerful it is, even outside the battle formation, it is still affecting. After the previous thunderous strikes, the ashes of Lao Jiayin slowly flew away in the wind in front of Yi Xian and Zhuan Ti. Looking at the remaining hair of old Jiayin made Zhuan Ti shiver in fear. Just in a moment, the mid-level golden immortal realm de Lu was also dispersed like this. Yi Xian stood inside the array, staring ahead. I have warned you before, it's all because you were rushing to seek death. I have no other way. Hao Tian then appeared, staring at the array and shouting loudly. What happened? Who unleashed the thunderstorm array? Yao Qi also appeared at this time, pointing towards the array. Isn't that Yi Xian Sr.? Seeing Senior Yi Xian, Hao Tian felt a bit intimidated. The thunderstorm array has 36,000 variations. How did Yi Xian Sr. finally enter it? Yao Qi stood beside, looking puzzled, focusing on Yi Xian. What should we do now? We must rescue Yi Xian Sr. from the outside. Zhuan Ti trembled in panic, looking at the array. 36,000 variations. A normal array doesn't have more than 100,000 variations, no wonder it has such powerful force. After observing, Hao Tian spoke. There's no need to hurry, there's still a chance to turn things around. Take this opportunity while Yi Xian Sr. hasn't activated the thunder formation yet. Quickly go invite Master Hongyu for help. Yao Qi, upon hearing Hao Tian's words, quickly turned and ran off. Alright, I'll go right away. Suddenly, inside the formation, the lightning rays began to sway and converge at a point. Yao Qi, who had just run off, immediately turned back upon hearing the rumbling sound. No, it's too late, the thunder formation has been activated. After observing for a while in anxiety, Hao Tian suddenly shouted excitedly. No, it's not right, Yi Xian Sr. didn't activate the formation. He's breaking through. As soon as he finished speaking, the lightning rays immediately transmitted into Yi Xian's body, helping him break through the realm. Yao Qi, standing next to him, widened his eyes in surprise. What's happening? Hao Tian, with a shocked expression, sweating profusely, showed his amazement. It's not just that. With Yi Xian's breakthrough, strange remnants appeared on top of his head. In a flash those remnants gradually formed into lotus flowers containing countless mysteries. Yao Qi and Hao Tian were extremely surprised at the magical display created by Yi Xian Sr. Indeed, it is true, this is indeed law of power. Hong Yu, the old master, appeared outside the purple chaos palace, with a radiant arm of golden light and lightning magic. While practicing and crafting spells, a thought passed to the old master, surprising him. He raised his hand high, emitting a divine force, then disappeared amidst the lightning spell. Yao Qi, Hao Tian, and Zhuan Ti were all astonished at the miraculous sight. Yao Qi looked at Hao Tian and asked, "What is Yi Xian Sr.'s law really?" Hao Tian did not know the answer and said, "Master Hongyu has never mentioned these kinds of spells." Yi Xian continued to stand in the center of the spell formation, awakening the low power. Zhuan Ti, hearing the conversation between Yao Qi and Hao Tian, felt puzzled. Even I have never heard of this type of law of power. All three looked towards Yi Xian, full of curiosity and admiration. What law has he comprehended? Wondered Hongyu Lao Zu, appearing suddenly and surprising everyone. Perhaps only this little friend knows, he mused. As soon as they saw Hongyu Lao Zu, all three hurriedly bowed and respectfully greeted, "Greetings, Master, why has Hongyu Lao Zu come here? Is there a law in this world that even Hongyu Lao Zu doesn't know about? What is Yi Xian's true background?" she thought. Hongyu Lao Zu stared intently at her, loudly calling her name, and then spoke with firm seriousness, "I will not pursue any matters that occurred at the Purple Chaos Palace, but from now on, you do not need to come to the Purple Chaos Palace to listen to my teachings." Hearing Hongyu Lao Zu's words, Zhuan Ti was terrified and panicked. "Master!" Hao Tian and Yao Qi, beside him, looked bewildered and confused, still not understanding what was happening. Hongyu Lao Zu then turned his gaze towards Yi Xian. "It seems this little friend has completed his breakthrough," he remarked. Yi Xian, now enveloped in a golden glow, stood at the center of the formation. After his breakthrough, he sat down properly, avoiding the lightning strikes from the wind and thunder divine formation. After a while, I woke up in a daze, startled to find Hongyu, the old master, in front of me. Seeing him, I waved my hand with a silly expression. "What's going on? Why is Master Hongyu here?" At the same time, my fingers raised high, performing a sealing technique in the midst of the battle formation. In an instant, my hand emitted a thick, dark smoke from the spiritual weapon. Then suddenly, I shifted in front of old Hongyu, startling him. After moving in front of old Yi Xian, I quickly bowed in respect. "Greetings, Master Hongyu." My fingers unexpectedly created a flame that left me stunned. Seeing that I could unleash the fire spiritual weapon, I then easily created the law of the 5 elements by raising my hand. Impressed by Yi Xian's abilities and power, Hao Tian was in awe. "You can easily create the law of the 5 elements too." Old Hongyu, standing nearby, also interjected, surprising Hao Tian. And not just that. Yi Xian then created the law of magical powers, and the spiritual weapon slowly floated in the air. Afterwards, gathered again and formed a blue sphere in the middle of the space. He was below also expressing admiration, looking up at the sphere he had just created. Suddenly, a lightning bolt from inside quickly rushed towards him, causing him to panic. He then reached out to absorb the entire spiritual weapon of lightning that was rushing towards him. Hao Tian looked intently towards Yi Xian, law magical powers and destruction, as well as lightning law. How many types of laws has Senior Yi Xian finally comprehended? Yi Xian, after retracting his spiritual weapon, stepped forward step by step. It seems to be 3,000 types of laws, I'm not sure if it's just 3,000 types or not. Master Hongyu beside him also extremely admired and exclaimed, ordinary people study their whole lives and can only comprehend one type of law, you have comprehended over 3,000 types in an instant, what's not to be happy about? Yi Xian sighed and showed his boredom. I'm not happy because I have comprehended 3,000 types of laws. Hao Tian on the opposite side quickly spoke up, Senior Yi Xian, comprehending 3,000 laws of power, this is something that has never happened before. Yi Xian nodded with his arms crossed, that's right. Yao Qi, standing next to him, looked very happy, I believe that Senior Yi Xian will soon be able to defeat the primordial Deluo Golden Immortal and achieve the position of saint. Yi Xian, hearing this, was shocked and quickly waved his hand, no, I don't want to break through to the saint realm so quickly. Yao Qi and Hao Tian were very puzzled by Yi Xian's behavior and actions. Old Hongyu, a little curious, turned to ask Yi Xian, all beings in Honghuang are striving hard for the supreme saint, but why do you reject it like that, little friend? Upon hearing old Hongyu's question, Yi Xian was a little surprised. He silently thought for a moment, his eyes focused on old Hongyu, the saint is right in front of me, how can I speak out? He then raised his hand to his chest, showing courage. Junior believes that breakthrough is a proof of one's efforts, and should not force oneself for a breakthrough. This will only make the breakthrough counterproductive. The slower the breakthrough, the better. After hearing Yi Xian's explanation, old Hongyu responded, forget about this matter, this time I will forgive you. It's time to open the Purple Chaos Palace so that we can start the sermon. Yao Qi and Hao Tian immediately nodded and proceeded to open the Purple Chaos Palace. At this moment, Yi Xian turned his eyes to Zhuan Ti, who was in a state of spiritual collapse. Feeling curious, he approached and asked, Zhuan Ti, what happened? Why are you in this situation? Zhuan Ti looked at Yi Xian with resentment in his eyes. It's all because of you. I lost my Taoist friend and opportunity because of you. He gritted his teeth and glared at Yi Xian, who nonchalantly sighed, making him even angrier. This has nothing to do with me, I didn't do anything to you. Seeing the other party getting so angry to the point of losing control, Yi Xian raised his voice reassuringly, Zhuan Ti, calm down and don't get agitated like this, hurting yourself is not good. Zhuan Ti could no longer contain himself, he clenched his fists tightly and aimed at Yi Xian, you cunning brat, just broke through to the Luo Golden Immortal, your realm is not stable yet, if I attack now, it might be the moment for you to surpass my realm in the future. Just as he was about to attack Yi Xian, Master Hongyu appeared once again. Making him sweat with fear, Yi Xian saw the opponent's uneasy demeanor and felt extremely worried. Zhuan Ti, what's wrong with you? Am I that scary? He then turned around to look behind him. There's nothing behind me, right? Zhuan Ti, just give me a response, just a chit is enough. Feeling frustrated and helpless, Zhuan Ti clenched his teeth but didn't dare to act. He felt dissatisfied. Soon after, he used all his strength to fly away from the Holy Land Purple Chaos Palace. Yi Xian stood below, watching Zhuan Ti's figure disappear. Truly worthless, not long after, he walked alone towards the gate of the Purple Chaos Palace. Stepping inside, he was surprised to see many empty futons. Feeling anxious as all eyes around stared at him. What happened here? Why is everyone looking at me like this? What do they want to do? Just then, Yao Qi appeared and pointed to the futon in front. Yi Xian Sr., please sit on the vacant futon. Seeing the empty futons in front of him, Yi Xian was shocked and confused. This is Senior's futon, Yao Qi continued, it's true, this is Senior's futon, because the master himself called it out. Elder Hongyu sat on the platform, looking attentively towards Yi Xian, nodding and smiling. Yi Xian, down below, widened his eyes in astonishment. He stood there in the Purple Chaos Palace, thinking to himself, is he really going against me? The air inside the Purple Chaos Palace was filled with animosity. The people around were whispering and pointing fingers at Yi Xian. Manhwa also arrived, stepping into the Purple Chaos Palace. Yi Xian, little friend, what's wrong? Quickly come and take a seat, Nu Hua said. Yi Xian quickly turned to look at Nu Hua. Feeling embarrassed, oh, I think I'll stand. Before he could finish his sentence, Tong Tian leader's scolding voice rang out, making him fearful, you brat, quickly sit down for me. Elder Hong Yu is the one guiding us, if he personally calls your name, you must accept it. Don't you trust your mentor? Yi Xian quickly waved his hand with a bewildered expression, disciple dare not, as he sat down on the futon, the system immediately announced. A large amount of spiritual weapon energy detected, cultivation speed is doubling, the system announced, aiming to help him break through. Yi Xian, shocked, jumped in fear. Suddenly, a hand was placed on his shoulder, startling him further. Yi Xian, little friend, I didn't expect you to gain Hongyu Lao Zu's recognition. From now on, we are fellow disciples, a voice said. Yi Xian looked dejected. Nu Hua, I don't deserve this position, he said. Nu Hua gazed intently at him. Nonsense, this is something you deserve. Didn't you offer me your futon before? She reassured. Around them, the crowd, filled with envy, whispered about Yi Xian. This little guy is a disciple of the three pure ones. It's understandable why Nu Hua treats him well, but for the Tao ancestor to personally assign him a seat, what is his true background? They speculated. Hearing the crowd discussing him, Yi Xian felt even more dissatisfied. I never wanted this, he thought. The sermon began shortly after, with spiritual weapon energy filling the surroundings. Yi Xian sat on his futon, deep in comprehension. Soon, his system attributes were clearly displayed. Recognizing that he was on the verge of a breakthrough, he was extremely irritated. Don't preach anymore, if you keep preaching I will break through. Beside him, countless people were immediately breaking through while experiencing the Tao. Yi Xian, on the other hand, became annoyed, covering his ears trying to disrupt the transmission of the Tao space. Suddenly a layer of light enveloped his body, unexpectedly dispersing, catching him off guard. In a state of confusion, he turned his head to look back, only to be surprised to see Nu Hua in a breakthrough state, having comprehended the great Tao. Nu Hua is breaking through, unable to retract her power, it seems that the heavens are helping me. Seizing the opportunity, he used his clone to leave behind a faint body to listen to the preaching, while he quietly used his teleportation technique to leave the Purple Chaos Palace. In the blink of an eye, he had teleported to a desolate mountain range near the holy land of the Purple Chaos Palace. As soon as he set foot in the desolate mountain range, he activated the system to check. How many breakthrough points do I have in my system? His system attribute panel then appeared. Cultivation is now at the Deluo early stage of Golden Immortal, with 125,835 breakthrough points remaining. After checking the attributes, he raised his hand to rub his head and took a deep breath. If I sit there for a while longer, will I break through another great realm again? Luckily I escaped, but now where am I? Could it be that the barrier of the Purple Chaos Palace has affected me? Oh well, let's forget about it. I might as well take a stroll. Let's start from here. The scene shifted to a holy land with an unknown name, where everywhere was filled with eerie corpses. Inside there was a man with a demon clan body named Tai Yi, holding a large magic weapon announcing, invite the 10 demon saints to step forward and receive the honors. Jiao Ying was also present, kneeling and worshipping Jiao Ying. See Emperor Jun. This demon was Emperor Jun, holding a sacred decree pointing towards Jiao Ying. Jiao Ying, from today onwards, you will become the 4th demon saint, leading the demon clan to unite Hong Huang. Jiao Ying, upon receiving the decree, thought of the image of being attacked by Yi Xian before, you little brat, if I don't eliminate you, you will surely become the demon of my heart. Yi Xian next to him also felt a little sensitive when he kept sneezing and wondered, who is thinking of me? Could it be Lady Nu Hua? Suddenly a loud noise came from a distance, catching Yi Xian's attention. He quickly shielded his eyes from the sun and observed intently ahead. In front of him now was a fierce fight between two opposing factions. the confrontation between the witch clan and the demon clan was extremely tense. Both sides constantly unleashed powerful techniques. Yi Xian then approached the battle to observe, is this the witch clan and the demon clan? Seeing his presence, the witch clan immediately unleashed their divine power towards him. The witch clan's technique rushed towards Yi Xian like a tiger, taking him by surprise. Faced with the attack from the witch clan, Yi Xian quickly raised his hand to counterattack. The two techniques collided with each other, containing a strong energy source, and Yi Xian's attack caused the witch clan's technique to dissipate in an instant. After dispelling the technique, Yi Xian stood in the middle of the battle and exclaimed, "Why attack me? I was just passing by." The tiger demon, upon spotting the presence of Yi Xian, widened his eyes in astonishment. He then hurriedly ran over and whispered into the ear of the leader of the demon king. After hearing the words of the tiger demon, the entire demon clan quickly began to clamor and then fled with all their might. The witch clan, seeing their opponents fleeing, were somewhat surprised. What does the demon clan mean by this? How could they easily give up the divine water like that? Yi Xian then approached the water in front of him. Is this the three lights divine water? No wonder the two tribes are fighting over it here. Well, it's good, I'll take it to give to Manhwa, she'll probably like it a lot. Suddenly, a loud voice echoed, cutting off Yi Xian's actions. Who do you think you are, just directly taking the divine water in front of our witch clan warriors? Do you want to oppress our witch clan? Our witch clan warriors hold up the sky, stomp on the ground, not afraid of anyone. Are you trying to make us fear you? Even if we fight to the death, we will not bow our heads. We are not afraid of death like those demon clan people. Seeing the opponent wanting to attack him, Yi Xian quickly stepped back, readying his skills. Regarding the witch clan, at this moment they all rushed towards Yi Xian with full force to protect the three lights divine water. Before the battle was about to break out, a loud voice suddenly echoed, surprising both sides. Yi Xian, little friend, I hope you will act gently. The appearance of this mysterious person made Yi Xian and the witch clan widen their eyes in astonishment, and the figure of this woman gradually appeared with a beautiful and powerful form. The witch clan immediately clasped their hands respectfully. This person has interfered in the battle between the demon clan and the witch clan on their own initiative, causing injuries to our soldiers. We hope that the witch ancestors will help us reclaim justice. After hearing the story, the mysterious woman glanced to the right with an angry face. Yi Xian saw the opponent's angry expression and felt a mix of confusion and anger. After a while, she suddenly changed her expression. Yi Xian, little friend, there is no need to be tense. Although we have never met before, we are all disciples of the Hongyu sect ancestors. We are considered fellow disciples now. Seeing the change in the opponent's attitude, Yi Xian breathed a sigh of relief. Then why hasn't witch ancestor Ho Tu come to listen to the teachings of the great Tao at the Purple Chaos Palace? Ho Tu, floating in the air, began to explain. No reason at all. Recently, the demon clan and the witch clan have been continuously fighting. It's said that the demon clan plans to invade during the great Tao sermon. I had to give up my opportunity and stay to defend against the demon clan's invasion. Ho Tu then took out a vial of divine water and handed it to Yi Xian. Consider this divine water a token of my gratitude, little friend. I hope that during future conflicts between the two clans, you won't help either side. Seeing the divine water, Yi Xian excitedly grabbed it and tucked it into his robe. All right, I won't get involved in the war, he agreed. Ho Tu then looked intently at Yi Xian, thinking, Yi Xian and Manhwa have a close relationship. Since Manhwa is from the demon clan and he's a disciple of the three pure ones, befriending him shouldn't be harmful. A witch clan warrior beside them was astonished. What? Even witch ancestor Ho Tu is seeking favors for this person? Who on earth is he? I've never heard of anyone named Yi Xian in all of Honghuang. Ho Tu then spoke with the intent to leave. I must return to guard the tribe now. If there's an opportunity in the future, you're invited to visit the witch clan tribe. We would be delighted to welcome you, Ho Tu said. Yi Xian bowed in response, all right, I'll visit another day. After a brief conversation, Ho Tu used teleportation magic to disappear in front of everyone. Once everything was resolved, Yi Xian furrowed his brows, deep in thought. Where should I go next? I wonder if there are more treasures like the divine water here. While he was lost in thought, a group from the witch clan suddenly surrounded him. Seeing himself encircled, Yi Xian jumped to the side and raised his fist. What do you want? Which ancestor Ho Tu already spoke, yet you're still clinging to the divine water? Suddenly, all the witch clan warriors knelt down in unison. We beg for your forgiveness for our previous negligence, senior, they pleaded. Seeing them kneeling and begging, Yi Xian looked annoyed. This is so noisy. Fine, fine, I forgive you. Now, get out of here. Immediately, the witch clan warriors hurriedly approached Yi Xian with gratitude and deference. Senior, simply forgiving us won't make up for our transgressions. In the cave ahead, a valuable, divine tree has been hidden that we could previously take to offer to our senior. However, a few days ago, the demon clan occupied it, and despite our numerous attacks, we failed, so we have retreated here. At this point, the warriors of the witch clan cried out in mourning, we cannot hand over the divine tree ourselves, this feeling is excruciating. Hearing the witch clan crying out in mourning, Yi Xian pondered deeply, these individuals want us to seize the treasure to push back the demon clan, not only participating in the battle between the two clans but also reclaiming the land. It's just that their intentions are too clear, I wonder if they are truly clever or foolish. After some thought, Yi Xian began to speak, but before he could finish his sentence, a familiar aura washed over him, surprising him. In front of him, a strong aura of the demon clan was rushing towards him. This spiritual energy seems somewhat familiar. Jiao Ying stood in front of Yi Xian and shouted, you little guy from a rotten family, do you still remember your master? Seeing Jiao Ying's appearance, Yi Xian felt a bit disgusted. What's this, why is it you again, acting like a restless spirit? Jiao Ying exclaimed, with a fierce and demonic expression. 5 years ago, you destroyed the foundation of our sect, causing endless suffering for us. But you probably didn't expect that our cultivation not only did not decrease, but also increased, achieving a breakthrough to the realm of the Luo Golden Immortal. Yi Xian raised his hand to his ear. Are you done talking? I'm in a hurry to travel to other places, he said. Jiao Ying, in a state of anger, continued to scream, with a strong demonic aura. Today, I will definitely extract your primordial spirit and refine it for 10,000 years, so that you cannot live or die. Seeing the opponent's determination, Yi Xian quickly activated a formula. It seems like fighting here is not convenient. If you want to fight, let's go to a more spacious place, he said, swiftly teleporting both of them to a deserted area to prepare for the next battle. Jiao Ying was amazed to see the opponent's skill. This is spatial law. You have mastered the power of law, so have you also reached the Luo Golden Immortal realm? Yi Xian smirked on the other side, showing disdain. Do you think I need to write a report to a dead person like you after my breakthrough? As he spoke, his eyes widened in horror. Jiao Ying suddenly unleashed his full power, continuously emitting demonic energy. Although the law of space is incredibly mysterious, relying on it alone isn't enough to bridge the gap in our strength, he said, channeling powerful spiritual energy and striking directly at Yi Xian. Facing the full-force demonic attack, Yi Xian remained calm and composed, showing no fear. He then opened his mouth and yawned, displaying his power. Spatial law, he declared, and immediately teleported away before the attack could hit him. Seeing Yi Xian's teleportation, Jiao Ying was somewhat surprised. Do you think you can avoid my attack just by using the law of space? Jiao Ying then used his fingers to create a stream of demonic energy, leaving Yi Xian bewildered. With a flick of his fingers, a wave of spiritual energy and demonic aura transformed into a dragon, surrounded by lightning, swirling within the spatial law. In an instant, the demonic energy dragon lunged at Yi Xian, striking him. Seeing his opponent struck, Jiao Ying grinned widely in excitement, his smile appearing extremely sinister, his eyes brimming with evil energy at the sight of Yi Xian's defeat. Suddenly, a whirlwind erupted where Yi Xian was standing, catching him by surprise. Yi Xian was now enveloped in a radiant aura of Tao charm and ancient splendor. In an instant, he raised his hand and executed his skill aimed at Jiao Ying. After gathering a large amount of spiritual energy, he waved his hand, sending a powerful force forward. Seeing Yi Xian's counterattack, Jiao Ying summoned all his strength to create a dragon hand to defend himself. Jiao Ying's demonic energy immediately bit down, controlling Yi Xian's attack. After blocking the assault, Jiao Ying smirked with disdain, this kind of trick. Before he could finish his sentence, his dragon hand suddenly emitted fiery auras. In the next moment, these flames attacked Jiao Ying, catching him off guard. In a short time, Yi Xian's fiery power engulfed Jiao Ying, causing him to scream in agony. While engulfed in flames with a body full of injuries, Jiao Ying stared at Yi Xian with a fierce gaze. The wind can blow away our flames, surely it is not an ordinary wind and it can also control the flames, could it be the law of the 5 elements? I was lucky enough to achieve the breakthrough to the Luo Golden Immortal, yet he not only caught up with me, but also obtained 2 great laws. While the opponent was being burned by the 5 elements flames, Yi Xian remained calm and observant. Suddenly his voice rang out again, causing Yi Xian to widen his eyes in astonishment at Jiao Ying's monstrous appearance. Jiao Ying in the form of extremely strange demon beasts, bared his teeth and stared directly at Yi Xian. "You are the first to see my true body as a demon beast's," he growled repeatedly, with a strong, fierce and extremely ferocious intent. The roar of Jiao Ying formed a wave of sound, blowing away the dust around them. After the opponent's roar, Yi Xian felt disgusted. "You have too much saliva, can you clean up a bit?" Jiao Ying's true body as a demon beast's immediately created countless dragon hands aimed at Yi Xian. "Hurry up and reincarnate like that." Facing the fierce demon beasts, Yi Xian quickly formed a seal and chanted, "Thunder, lost thunder," as 3 bright streaks of golden light appeared from the sky, swiftly heading towards Jiao Ying's dragon guard and completely breaking the aggressive demon clan technique of the opponent. Jiao Ying, seeing the situation, widened his eyes in shock. "What is this?" He then summoned 2 spheres representing the yin and yang 5 elements to broaden your understanding of my yin and yang thunder. Before shooting 2 yin and yang spheres with a strong aura of demon clan towards Yi Xian at the speed of light, Yi Xian directly raised his hands forward, using his own strength to control the 2 yin and yang spheres. Then lifted his head, glaring at Jiao Ying. After aiming at the target, Yi Xian threw back what Jiao Ying had shot. The 2 spheres suddenly exploded. Before the powerful force of the ancient Tao, Jiao Ying's face was now full of sweat, while Yi Xian continued calmly advancing closer to bridge the gap between them. After that, Jiao Ying opened his mouth wide and let out a long yawn, showing dissatisfaction towards his opponent. Jiao Ying was now extremely frightened, shouting loudly, "The law of thunder, the law of death, even the law of yin and yang, how many laws have you truly mastered?" Yi Xian, with a calm expression, replied, "I can't count them all, probably more than 3,000 laws." Hearing this, Jiao Ying's hands and feet trembled, sweat dripping down his face. "It can't be true." In his excitement, he struggled and launched another attack, saying, "This cannot happen." His demon clan technique then simultaneously targeted Yi Xian, gathering power. Yi Xian raised his hand with a determined look, trapping Jiao Ying inside a cube within seconds, leaving him bewildered. The cube kept expanding and stacking on top of each other. Despite his cries, "I am a demon saint, chosen by the Emperor of Heaven, you cannot kill me." After trapping him inside the cube, Yi Xian observed with a sense of annoyance the desperate cries of Jiao Ying from within, feeling irritated by the inconvenience. Yi Xian directly squeezed the cube holding Jiao Ying in his hand. Just like that, Jiao Ying reincarnated, his body disintegrated into fine dust, merging into the air of heaven and earth. At that moment, the destiny soul of Jiao Ying suddenly shook violently, followed by the sound of cracking and shattering. his destiny soul shattered into pieces. Upon learning this, Tai Yi was startled and exclaimed, "What, Demon Saint Jiu Ying's destiny soul is shattered?" After seeing Jiu Ying's shattered destiny soul, he quickly ran to the Holy Land of the Demon Clan to report. The Emperor of Heaven was still unaware of what was happening, sitting solemnly on his throne, when he suddenly heard Tai Yi's panicked footsteps approaching. His voice was hurried as he asked, "What's going on?" Tai Yi immediately knelt down and respectfully said, "Jiu Ying, the demon saint, has perished, his destiny soul has shattered." Upon hearing the shocking news, the Emperor of Heaven angrily stood up and demanded, "What did you just say?" In his anger, he unleashed a surge of demonic energy in his body, summoning the Golden Eagle. Who is so daring, ultimately causing this incident? Dare he kill our demon saint in our heavenly court? Seeing the Emperor of Heaven angry, all the subordinates quickly knelt down in fear. Tai Yi then continued to report, "Brother, calm down. Earlier, during the battle between our demon clan and witch clan for the divine water, a young man intervened. The demon clan leader noticed and immediately informed Jiu Ying, who then rushed to the scene. The Emperor of Heaven slowly approached Tai Yi from the high platform. I didn't expect him to not return to his fate. Jiu Ying perished on the spot. I regret saving Jiu Ying earlier, wasting many spiritual pills. So who is this young man after all?" Tai Yi's face showed a bit of panic and sweat covered his forehead. His background is unclear, but Ho Tu, one of the 12 witch ancestors, knows about this little guy. The Emperor of Heaven furrowed his brows, showing displeasure and anger in his heart. One of the witch ancestors did not participate in Hong Yu's teaching session. It seems that the demon clan has guessed our plan. Tai Yi remained in a kneeling position. It's almost like that, Jiu Ying's fate cracked so quickly. It's likely that some witch ancestors are able to do such a thing. "Boss, where do you want to go now?" The Emperor of Heaven raised his hand, glaring ahead. "Now let's go to the witch clan and demand answers." Meanwhile, Yi Xian had now reached the dense forest, carefully observing the surroundings. After moving around and exploring the terrain for a while, he became suspicious. Why can't I see any traces of the demon clan? Could it be that the witch clan is threatening us? Suddenly, something appeared in front of him, causing him to widen his eyes in astonishment. In front of him was a large three-legged golden crow, emitting a bright light as it flew past at lightning speed. Yi Xian observed the figure carefully. Isn't that the three-legged golden crow? As expected, one of the two figures was the Emperor of Heaven Tai Jun, but why were they now heading towards the witch clan? Could it be because of Jiu Ying? No, if it was because of Jiu Ying, they would have come directly to find him. After some thought and speculation, Yi Xian couldn't figure out the reason for their visit. Forget it, I still have things to find. Returning to the wild mountains of the witch clan, located next to the Holy Land Purple Chaos Palace, Ho Tu and the allied witch clan quickly gathered as they recognized the situation of the approaching demon clan. Just a few seconds later, the Emperor of Heaven and Tai Yi also appeared on the back of the three-legged golden crow in front of the witch clan. As they arrived, the demons had already used the fire of the 5 elements to burn countless soldiers from the witch clan. Ho Tu, seeing the demon clan directly attacking, quickly waved his hand to cast his own spells, immediately creating a shield to protect the warriors of the witch clan from the fire of the 5 elements. After creating the shield, Ho Tu turned back to the Emperor of Heaven and Tai Yi and said, "Greetings, Emperor of Heaven, Dong Huang, what brings you here?" Tai Yi, with a cold and indifferent expression, stared at Ho Tu and replied, "One demon saint of the demon clan perished here, and you ask why we are here." Ho Tu frowned at Tai Yi and said, "Ho Tu has not left the clan all day, on the contrary. That demon saint brought evil energy to the territory of our witch clan, even showing hostility towards our people. What else could we do?" Tai Yi was extremely surprised by the words of the other party. "What did you just say?" The Emperor of Heaven then stepped forward with a malicious face. "But I remember Jiu Ying demon saint came to see you. How can evil energy be all over the place?" Ho Tu chuckled contemptuously when he heard that. haha, who meets an old friend, just saw each other and immediately use killer moves without saying anything. The Emperor of Heaven, with a sinister expression, raised his eyebrows and glared at Ho-Tu. So your intention is to not hand over the person here, right? Ho-Tu, on the other side, sneered and showed an angry expression. If this is only for Demon Saint, his divine spirit has been dissipated, and Ho-Tu is also helpless. Suddenly, her body was enveloped by the blood of the demon clan, making her look visibly distressed. At the same time, the Emperor of Heaven unleashed the power of the demon clan Golden Crow, exuding his own aura. Yi Xian had also reached a cave of his own, activating his divine general, the three-legged, surrounded by a heavy aura. In the mysterious space, Yi Xian walked deeper and deeper, his eyes constantly scanning the surroundings amidst the white mist. After going deep inside, he gradually lost his direction and couldn't see the path ahead clearly. Relying on his own intelligence, Yi Xian continued to raise his hand to make a firm resolution. Immediately, he displayed his martial arts skills to create a whirlwind that blew away the mist. As the mist was blown away, the white smoke returned once again. This made him somewhat surprised. This mist looks very normal, but once I use my magic, I encounter difficulties. Definitely stepped into some kind of magic formation. He eagerly took each step deeper inside. It seems like now, Yi Xian said, opening his eyes wide and staring ahead. The heavy aura around him gradually transformed into an arc in front of him. After a while, his eyes widened as if he were using a great power. Suddenly, a violent gust of wind appeared aiming straight towards Yi Xian. While still in astonishment, he received the violent wind. So I haven't completely stepped into the magic formation earlier. The wind slowly swept away everything around, throwing away large rocks. Facing the large rocks slowly rushing towards him, he felt a bit panicked. After a moment of resistance, his face had many scratches, just in time to discover something in front of him. His body was now surrounded by the frenzy of the five elements. Seeing the object in front of him, he looked ahead intently. This may be the divine tree from the words of the witch clan warriors previously mentioned. This magical weapon had a sparkling thread of light always enveloping the seed inside the tree. After observing the magic array for a while, he raised his hand to check. It seems that this is the core of this magic array, but I have difficulty casting spells so I can't get any closer. Before him now was a whirlwind and a strong aura. In a moment, the system also gave an analysis. Discovered the Sky Seal Array, currently in the process of automatic replication. The whirlwind became stronger, almost swallowing everything inside the magic array. After completing the automatic replication process of the magic array, Yi Xian's arm slowly reached out to touch the divine tree, the whole image of the magic array gradually being conveyed to Yi Xian's mind. After completely resolving the magic array, Yi Xian looked ahead in astonishment. Next, Yi Xian calmly stepped towards the side of the divine tree with a proud posture. After collecting the divine tree, the system also announced, "Congratulations to the host for receiving the Heaven Refining Gourd, 5 colored spirit stones." Through the system, Yi Xian continued to look towards the divine tree and expressed surprise. I never expected that I could collect the treasures of Manhwa used to create humans. And even have the sky repairing stone in such a short time. But what is this treasure here? Even the Heaven Refining Gourd seems inferior. Curious, Yi Xian asked the system, and it continued to announce, "Congratulations to the host for receiving the Hongmeng Supreme Treasure connecting heaven and earth." Back to the battle between the Demon Clan and the Witch Clan. In the Witch Clan tribe, bodies of the Witch Clan lay piled up everywhere. Ho-Tu and the warriors were still facing off against the Emperor of Heaven and Tai Yi. The atmosphere at this moment was extremely tense. Suddenly, Tai Yi discovered something and exclaimed, "Boss, quickly look over there." What Tai Yi saw was a bright golden pillar of light shining straight down from the high sky, with a strong aura and a deep spiritual weapon. The Emperor of Heaven standing beside him was also extremely surprised to witness this extraordinary sight, while Ho-Tu, next to him, showed a look of concern. "Is that Yi Xian's little friend?" the Emperor of Heaven exclaimed after observing the figure in front of him, immediately using his supernatural powers to fly away, leaving Tai Yi still puzzled. "Brother, you always leave me in chaos," Ho Tu murmured as he watched Tai Yi in contemplation from behind. "That commotion must have been caused by Yi Xian's little friend, and Emperor Jun seems to be very interested in it. If I help Yi Xian or perhaps attract the three pure ones and others, it will definitely be a great help to our witch clan." At that moment, she was shocked when the other person pointed a finger at her and shouted, "Today, your life will be the price for Jiu Ying's sacrifice." With that, Tai Yi summoned a fierce spiritual weapon, compensate for the loss of our demon clan's young demon warrior. On the other side, Ho Tu, enraged by the threat, glared with eyes full of evil energy. She quickly erected a shield made of rocks in the area of the witch clan. Meanwhile, Tai Yi released a powerful beam of spiritual energy straight through space towards her. In just a moment, he pierced through the earth and stone barrier created by Ho Tuesday. Then, he raised his hand high, gathering a stream of powerful gas that shimmered with brilliance. The gas quickly formed into the spirit of the three-legged golden crow, with aura fluctuating around, dust swirling in the air. The next second, he released his hand forward, signaling the three-legged golden crow to attack. The three-legged golden crow obeyed the command and charged straight towards the pile of rocks and earth with a fierce stance. After the previous assault, Tai Yi was slightly surprised, taking steps towards the pile of ashes. Earthly ancestor, Ho Tu, is one of the witch ancestors. Yet easily abandoned the tribe to save his own life. Suddenly, a thought crossed his mind, making him extremely anxious, staring intently towards the wrong figure. As for Yi Xian, he was bathed in the glowing aura surrounding his body, entering a breakthrough state, while the Emperor of Heaven had also arrived, silently observing Yi Xian, raising his hand to form a bright sphere, focusing on Yi Xian. After a moment of observation, he swung his hand, releasing a golden flame forward. In an instant, the radiant light formed into a golden dragon with blazing red eyes, charging toward him. A loud explosion echoed through the mountains and forests, creating an incredibly tense atmosphere. Following the attack, the ground shook, and rocks shattered and scattered everywhere. The golden dragon lay weakened on the ground. The Emperor of Heaven, upon discovering this, was furious and quickly glanced back. "Humph, I didn't expect this." Ho Tu, the witch ancestor, abandoned the tribe to save this man. Ho Tu, covered in wounds, stared at the Emperor of Heaven. It was just a gamble. The Emperor of Heaven began to harbor doubts. Silently pondering, what secret does this young man hold to make the three pure ones, Manhwa, and Ho Tu all come to his aid? Suddenly, Tai Yi's voice echoed, startling both Ho Tu and the Emperor of Heaven. "Big brother, don't act rashly. Wait for me." Tai Yi in the three-legged golden crow appeared, glaring angrily at Ho Tu and shouting. "I never expected you to dare disrespect me," he said, drawing out his magical weapon and shouting, "Today I will use Dong Huang Bell to turn you into dust." On the opposite side, Ho Tu quickly raised his hand and used his magic to confront Tai Yi. Tai Yi's magic weapon Dong Huang Bell immediately appeared gigantic on top of Ho Tu's head. The battle became even more dramatic with the intense spiritual energy surrounding them. Dong Huang Bell unleashed its power, destroying the earth and wreaking havoc. Ho Tu was swallowed up, his body heavily wounded as he coughed up large amounts of blood. Faced with the power of Dong Huang Bell, Ho Tu gradually weakened and collapsed before him. Seeing his opponent helpless, Tai Yi smirked, his excitement evident as he asked, "Farewell, will you?" At that moment, a loud explosion echoed from within the cave, sending debris flying towards Tai Yi and the Emperor of Heaven. Both startled to see a strong aura emanating from within. In front of Tai Yi, countless pieces of rock and earth were hurtling towards him at dizzying speed. He quickly used his magic weapon, the Dong Huang Bell, to shatter the debris, narrowly escaping disaster. Nearby, Ho Tu lay unconscious, her body severely injured. "How?" she murmured as the broken stones flew toward her. Slowly, she awakened, her frail body glancing upward to see that the area was now engulfed in smoke and dust. Amidst this scene, Yi Xian appeared with an imposing aura. Standing proudly, Yi Xian stared at the two demon clan members, ready to gather spiritual energy for battle. Seeing the unfamiliar man before him, the Emperor of Heaven was puzzled. Who is this? Not using a magic weapon or spells, could it be the law of power? The atmosphere was extremely tense, with the surroundings reduced to rubble and shrouded in smoke. Confronting Yi Xian's imposing presence, the Emperor of Heaven, exuding evil energy, spoke out. Little brat, do you even know what you're doing? Yi Xian stepped forward with a determined gaze and loudly declared, of course, I can't stand seeing two men bullying a defenseless woman. The Emperor of Heaven immediately raised his hand to restrain the agitated Tai Yi. Since you and I are both disciples of Hongyu, I won't hold you accountable for what happened with Jiuying. You may go, said the Emperor of Heaven. Hearing this, Yi Xian clasped his hands in a gesture of respect and replied, Thank you, Emperor of Heaven. He then extended his hand towards Ho Tuesday. Ho Tu, let's leave. Ho Tu, looking weak and breathing heavily, gazed up at Yi Xian. You promised not to interfere in the war between the witch and demon clans. You've broken your promise. Yi Xian scratched his head awkwardly and smiled at her. I couldn't just stand by and watch a woman being bullied. Ho Tu sighed and looked thoughtfully at Yi Xian. I guess there's no stopping you. Yi Xian then firmly grasped her arm. Ho Tu, we should go. Suddenly, a powerful aura erupted behind Yi Xian, startling him. He turned around with a frown. Emperor of Heaven, what is this about? Behind Yi Xian stood the three-legged golden crow, radiating a mighty divine force filled with evil energy. The Emperor of Heaven stood there constantly exuding his own power, his eyes full of malice. I said you can leave, but she cannot, he said menacingly. In the face of the other's words, Yi Xian raised his hand to gather a large amount of spiritual energy, his body now covered in a mysterious power, staring at the other, his eyes determined as he defiantly shouted, If I want to take her with me, what will you do? The Emperor of Heaven, with a contemplative look, signaled to Tai Yi, Then do not blame us for not showing mercy. Tai Yi, go. Upon receiving the order, Tai Yi stepped forward and took out the magic weapon Dong Huang Bell. A cultivator who has just broken through to the mid-Luo Golden Immortal dares to speak recklessly in front of us two quasi-saints. Truly seeking death. The Dong Huang Bell then immediately transformed into a giant, crushing the space below. Facing the quasi-saint magic weapon of the demon clan, Yi Xian and Ho Tu felt a little anxious. Faced with the dangerous situation, Yi Xian looked around before observing the Dong Huang Bell, unable to use space to escape from this place. It must be due to the oppressive heat here. Yi Xian raised his head with an uncomfortable expression, his teeth clenched, trying to protect Ho Tuesday. The magic weapon, Dong Huang Bell, pressed down with full force, crushing the area where Yi Xian had just stood. Seeing his weapon grinding his opponent, Tai Yi smiled with satisfaction. Meanwhile, the Emperor of Heaven remained vigilant, carefully observing the surroundings without letting his guard down. The next moment, sensing the approach of another powerful aura, he swiftly flew away at full speed. Not far from the battlefield, a group of cloaked figures was moving towards the fight. One of them, looking anxious, glanced to the side. The Emperor of Heaven intercepted them, blocking the path of these mysterious figures. Once again, the two forces faced off against each other. Upon confronting them, the Emperor of Heaven laughed with excitement. Haha, I can't believe Di Jiang sent you three to protect the witch clan. How amusing. The three cloaked figures stood their ground, staring intently at the Emperor of Heaven. Back at the battle between Tai Yi and Yi Xian, Tai Yi continued to form seals with his hands, exerting pressure with his magic weapon. The Dong Huang Bell, harnessing its power and the capabilities of a magic weapon, continuously emitted a fiery energy, trying to overpower Yi Xian. The flames blazed continuously, their intensity reaching a peak. Yi Xian and Ho Tu were trapped inside the magic weapon, and the oppressive heat caused extreme discomfort. Noticing Ho Tu's struggle, Yi Xian quickly raised his hand, gathering his energy while maintaining a calm state. Instantly, his body became enveloped in a brilliant aura, surrounded by countless glowing pearls. He glanced at the severely injured Ho-Tu and called out, "Ho-Tu Empress." In the urgent situation, Yi Xian took out the 5 Elements Fusion Heavenly Treasure, along with the superior grade 8 Treasures Gourd of the Heavenly Realm. He merged the 2 magic weapons, channeling their power and spiritual energy towards both himself and Ho-Tu. After the fusion and transfer of substantial spiritual energy, Yi Xian looked upwards, contemplating, this still isn't enough. The flow rate of the 3 lights divine water can't keep up with the rate of evaporation. This will only buy us some time, we need to find another way out. Although we're covered by the Dong Huang Bell, there's a mountain peak below. We can escape by tunneling through the rock. After some thought, he made a decision and quickly raised his hand to perform a skill aimed at the mountain peak below. After unleashing a strike, he was greatly surprised to see no damage left behind. No damage at all. Indeed, this Dong Huang Bell is not concealed by an ordinary mountain peak, but it's enclosing us within an independent space. He once again made his own judgment and suddenly remembered the divine tree he had before. He immediately took it out, realizing his oversight. How could I forget about this? There isn't much time left, he thought. He then lifted Ho-Tu and touched the divine tree. Ho-Tu, my apologies for my rudeness, he said. As soon as he touched the divine tree, the surrounding space abruptly changed, and the atmosphere shifted accordingly. Seeing the situation unfold, Yi Xian couldn't help but feel joyful. Indeed, it's just as I anticipated, he thought. The scene quickly disappeared, and both Yi Xian and Ho-Tu successfully escaped from the Dong Huang Bell, appearing in an adjacent area. After breaking free from the restraint, Yi Xian looked at Ho-Tu for a moment before gently placing her against a nearby tree trunk. Ho-Tu Empress, please rest for a while, I will go and come back soon. Suddenly there was a loud noise nearby, catching Yi Xian's attention. He immediately turned his head and asked, what's happening over there? Next, the witch ancestors of the witch clan appeared, the water god, fire god, and thunder god, each with their own powerful strength. The thunder god at that moment roared, Zhu Rong, Gong Gong, and brothers, form a formation with 12 heavenly beings. When Zhu Rong and Gong Gong heard Gang Liang's command, they were shocked. What did brother say? Gong Gong, sweating profusely, exclaimed, right now we don't have enough people, forcing a formation with 12 heavenly beings will not only lack 10% of our power, but also harm our foundation. Zhu Rong, in a panic, shouted, we are at this point, why think too much? Gang Liang, using all his power, forcefully activated the formation, we will discuss everything after defeating this Emperor of Heaven. Quickly join forces, form the 12th Heaven Angel Battle Formation. Gong Gong, after receiving the order, immediately mobilized his forces to form the formation with Gang Liang. Zhu Rong also quickly displayed his magical power to contribute to the formation. The Emperor of Heaven on the opposite side remained silent, his face filled with evil energy and cunning, returning to where Tai Yi was using the Dong Huang Bell to suppress Yi Xian. After controlling the magic weapon for a while, Tai Yi was a bit surprised. It seems like there is no more movement, right? He waved his hand to collect the spiritual energy, retracted the Dong Huang Bell, and looked forward to check. Seeing only blood stains scattered among the ashes, he laughed triumphantly. Ha ha, I thought you were tough, but I didn't expect to defeat you so easily. Suddenly, a large figure appeared within the dust cloud, making Tai Yi very curious. He put away the Dong Huang Bell and looked up at the Emperor of Heaven. Come and help your big brother first, then we can talk about the good news for him. Finishing his words, Tai Yi immediately used all his strength to fly over and assist the Emperor of Heaven. Amid the lingering dust and smoke, the colossal silhouette of a stone giant gradually emerged. The enormous stone giant began to move, its face turned towards the battle between the Emperor of Heaven and the 3 witch ancestors. With each resolute step, it shattered the mountains beneath its feet as it advanced. Yi Xian stood in a daze, staring up at the sky. Suddenly, a sharp pain jolted him back to reality. His arm was now covered in numerous strange runes, leaving him puzzled. What is this? He wondered aloud. At that moment, the system's notification chimed in. System has detected the 12 heavenly god slaying formation. Commencing automatic replication, facing the towering stone giant, the Emperor of Heaven smugly remarked, as expected of the witch clan, possessing the bloodline of Guzhua de Shen. To summon the true body of Guzhua de Shen, no less. But it's a pity that it's been summoned by a ragtag bunch, descending upon Hong Huang in such a weakened state. Beside him, Gang Liang, seething with rage, furiously shouted back. How dare you speak so arrogantly in front of Guzhua de Shen? Gang Liang finished speaking, then swung his hand to form a formation, commanding Guzhua de Shen to swing its axe fiercely towards the Emperor of Heaven. This single axe strike directly targeted the Emperor of Heaven, creating an immensely powerful impact. After the attack, Gang Liang looked ahead, somewhat startled. With such a formidable move from Guzhua de Shen, the Emperor of Heaven was able to easily block it with just one hand. Seeing their opponent's formidable demon clan strength, the three witch ancestors were deeply shocked. What? He blocked it with just one hand. The Emperor of Heaven, on the other side, smirked disdainfully, casting a contemptuous glance at the three witch ancestors. At that moment, a bright flash of light suddenly appeared under Guzhua de Shen's axe blade, followed by the emergence of a three-legged golden crow brimming with energy, aiming at Guzhua de Shen. The two powerful forces clashed, creating an incredibly dramatic scene. Without giving the opponent time to react, the three-legged golden crow opened its mouth and gathered a spiritual weapon sphere. In an instant, the powerful aura attacked Guzhua de Shen. Guzhua de Shen immediately used its stone axe to try to block the attack, struggling against the fierce onslaught. However, faced with the ferocious power of the demon clan, the stone axe was easily shattered. The powerful force pierced through Guzhua de Shen's body, revealing the figures of the three witch ancestors. They were desperately using the last of their strength to resist the demon clan's might. The Emperor of Heaven relentlessly tore through Guzhua de Shen, breaking the formation of the three witch ancestors. After successfully subduing the three witch ancestors of the witch clan, the Emperor of Heaven laughed arrogantly. You couldn't withstand even one of my attacks. At that moment, Yi Xian suddenly appeared amidst the thick white smoke. Sensing Yi Xian's aura, the Emperor of Heaven was taken aback and turned to look at him. Simultaneously, Tai Yi also appeared, looking excited and triumphant. Brother, I've dealt with Ho Tu and Yi Xian. Before he could finish his sentence, he saw Yi Xian standing right there. Seeing that Yi Xian was still alive, Tai Yi was visibly shocked. Is that Yi Xian? How is this possible? Thus, the story was about to witness another epic battle between Yi Xian and the demon clan's Emperor of Heaven along with Tai Yi. The Emperor of Heaven, with an incredulous expression, stared at Yi Xian and said, How did you escape from the Dong Huang Bell? Upon hearing the Emperor of Heaven's words, Yi Xian showed clear disdain, saying, Well, why don't you try to guess? Tai Yi, with an angry face, stepped forward and harshly said, How dare you be so disrespectful to our elder brother like that? The Emperor of Heaven, at this moment, calmly and composedly stated, Our goal has been achieved now, there's no need to waste time here anymore. With that, the Emperor of Heaven immediately flew away, leaving Tai Yi still fuming in frustration. Tai Yi then looked sharply at Yi Xian and shouted, Don't think this will be easily overlooked. Next time don't let me catch you. Yi Xian, still standing in place with a naive expression and no hint of fear, looked at Tai Yi, following the departing figures of the two demon clan members, thinking, I may not know what happened, but for now, the witch clan is safe. After everything was resolved, Yi Xian returned to where Ho Tu was, quickly carrying her away from the scene, saying, I must quickly take these witch ancestors back to the tribe for treatment. The Emperor of Heaven and Tai Yi had already flown far away, leaving the territory of the witch clan. On the way back, Tai Yi couldn't stop wondering, Brother, why did you just let that little guy Yi Xian go so easily? The Emperor of Heaven replied as they moved, "This time I only came to probe the strength of the witch clan. Yi Xian is just a Deluo golden immortal who is not worth mentioning." Tai Yi continued to question, "But we clearly could have easily killed a Deluo golden immortal, so why bother sparing him like that?" The Emperor of Heaven kept moving forward. "Although Yi Xian is not worth mentioning, he can escape the sunlight's shadow, break the spatial seal we arranged, and evade the power of the Dong Huang Bell. It's difficult to surround them on the mountain peak. It's very likely that Yi Xian was sent by our old teacher Hong Yu to intervene in the battle between the witch and demon clans. It's also clear the close relationship between Yi Xian and the witch clan. I'm afraid Hong Yu wants to favor the witch clan. In summary, when the witch ancestors are heavily injured, we will start a battle. If we wait for our old teacher to intervene, the demon clan will have a hard time prospering." Tai Yi now understood and followed the Emperor of Heaven's orders. Both of them quickly returned to their own demon clan's holy land. The scene shifts to the dwelling place of the witch clan, where small houses lie amidst the rugged forest area. Inside, warriors and healers are tending to wounded soldiers. Yi Xian is by Ho Tu's side, carefully observing and treating her injuries. Ho Tu, who has begun to stir after being seriously wounded, catches Yi Xian's worried gaze. After seeing her regain consciousness, Yi Xian breathes a sigh of relief. "Ho Tu, you've finally woken up." "It's me, Yi Xian," he says gently. Ho Tu, still a bit groggy from waking up, asks, "Yi Xian. Right, I remember now. But where are Emperor of Heaven and Tai Yi? Is our clan safe?" Sensing her agitation, Yi Xian quickly helps her up. "Ho Tu, don't worry. Emperor of Heaven and Tai Yi have returned to the Celestial Palace. Warriors from other clans have also come to help treat the wounded," he reassures her. Ho Tu, somewhat surprised by his words, asks, "Is what you're saying true?" After confirming the situation, she finally begins to feel a sense of relief. "So it's settled then, but I don't know when the demon clan will attack us again," Yi Xian said, clapping his hands on his chest. "Don't worry, I will protect the witch clan on behalf of Ho Tu," Ho Tu replied with a big smile. "Ha ha ha, you're all alone, and you're only in the realm of Deluo Golden Immortal. How can you stand against the entire demon clan?" "You're exaggerating," she continued, raising her hand to speak. "Don't forget so quickly, I saved you from the Emperor of Heaven and Tai Yi," Yi Xian interjected. Ho Tu silently pondered, how could a Deluo Golden Immortal escape two quasi-saints? Could it be with the help of Hong Yu's ancestor? But why? What secret is he hiding? Seeing Ho Tu's bewildered expression, Yi Xian quickly waved his hand and called her name, Ho Tu, snapping her out of her thoughts. "I was rude," she apologized. "It's okay," Yi Xian reassured her, observing her attentively. Suddenly, from above, a powerful rumbling sound and a thick aura of the demon clan emerged, leaving both of them shocked and alarmed. At this moment, the entire territory of the witch clan experienced a violent tremor, causing a sense of unease. Yi Xian quickly rushed out to the entrance, looking up with wide eyes filled with astonishment and concern. In front of them was the Dong Huang Bell magic weapon unleashing its power, while below stood two members of the demon clan, Tai Yi and Emperor of Heaven. "I am Tai Yi Dong Huang of the demon clan," Tai Yi declared, "along with our leader on the Celestial Palace, Huang Di. We uphold the balance of Hong Huang for the harmony of the world. However, the witch clan has become bloodthirsty, slaughtering indiscriminately. Not only have they preyed upon our demon clan as food, but they have also killed Jiaoying Demon Saint, one of our 10 great demon saints. As a result, our Celestial Palace will soon dispatch individuals to punish you." The people of the witch clan below displayed clear signs of panic and fear. Yi Xian, upon hearing Tai Yi's words, shared in their concern. The sky was gradually engulfed in the aura of the demon clan's great Tao, casting a dark, ominous shadow. The members of the witch clan below were in a state of shock and began to chatter anxiously. The Heaven Palace wants to declare war and punish the Witch Clan, huh? The Witch Clan and the Demon Clan are the two strongest tribes in the Honghuang world. If they were to fight, what kind of destruction would it cause? The sky was increasingly filled with demonic energy, causing urgent concern among the Witch Clan below. They hastily called out, "This is not good. It's a critical situation. To avoid further karmic consequences, we should seclude ourselves and not show ourselves outside." Then what are we waiting for? Let's escape quickly. The members of the Witch Clan all hurried to find hiding places to avoid the impending danger. At that moment, amidst the great Tao of the world, a spatial crack appeared within the view of Tai Yi and Emperor of Heaven. Upon seeing this anomaly, Emperor of Heaven and Tai Yi revealed a satisfied smirk. It seems it has arrived," they remarked. From above, a robust man emerged from the fissure, surrounded by lightning. "Accusing without evidence, not only framing our Witch Clan but also covertly attacking our witch ancestors, you truly have no shame," he proclaimed. Emperor of Heaven directly confronted the man, challenging, "So what? Right now, the witch ancestors of the Witch Clan don't even have 12 members. How do you plan to fight us, the Demon Clan?" A blond man beside him angrily shouted, "Huang Di, Tai Yi, if you want to fight, then bring it on. The Witch Clan isn't afraid of you." Upon hearing this, Emperor of Heaven chuckled arrogantly, "Indeed, the Witch Clan is just a bunch of cowards," and with that, Huang Di and Tai Yi turned and left, leaving behind a promise, "Talking is pointless. In 3 days, I, the Emperor, will lead 100 million tribesmen from the Demon Clan to compete with you. Let's see what courage the Witch Clan truly has," the mysterious man who had just appeared retorted. "In 3 days, I will surely take your wretched lives." Yi Xian, standing nearby, also heard the Demon Clan's promise to return in 3 days. "Only 3 days," he muttered. Shortly after, the witch ancestors of the Witch Clan also arrived at the village, where the villagers all bowed and greeted them in unison. "Greetings to the 8 witch ancestors." Yi Xian was also present, witnessing the arrival of Di Jiang. He quickly approached and respectfully bowed, "Greetings to witch ancestor Di Jiang." Di Jiang promptly reached out to support Yi Xian's hand. "Little friend, there's no need for formalities. I've heard about you from Ho Tu," Di Jiang said as they entered the resting place. 3 days aren't enough for the 4 witch ancestors to recover their realms fully. We won't be able to deploy the full power of the 12 celestial array. This situation is temporarily beyond our control against Huang Di and Tai Yi. Yi Xian continued to bow respectfully. "Witch ancestors, rest assured, I will fight for the Witch Clan until the very end." In gratitude for Ho Tu, he expressed. Di Jiang quickly placed a reassuring hand on Yi Xian's shoulder. "Well done. You're truly valued by Ho Tuesday. Anything you need in the future, our Witch Clan will be there to support you." Yi Xian felt a mix of joy and concern. "Thank you, witch ancestors," he replied gratefully. 3 days later, as promised, the sky reverberated with the thunderous sound of the great Tao, accompanied by hidden weapons from the Demon Clan. On the side of the Witch Clan, Di Jiang summoned countless warriors ready for the life-and-death battle, including Yi Xian. Seeing the formidable enemy approaching, the warriors cried out, "The enemy is here." Yi Xian and Di Jiang stared fiercely at the 2 formidable foes, Huang Di and Tai Yi. Below is a crowd of little demons carrying powerful weapons rushing towards the Witch Clan. From the high vantage point, one can see 2 enemy forces about to engage in battle. Huang Di, with a proud demeanor, stares ahead and says, "Di Jiang, your Witch Clan indiscriminately slaughters the Demon Clan, using them as food, and even killed our Demon Clan's Jiaoying Demon Saint. Today, you must give me an explanation." The strong man with a spear in hand, named Jiz, arrives with a fierce look ready for battle and says, "If you want to fight, let's fight. But now you're falsely accusing our Witch Clan, it's better for me, Jiz, to kill you all first." With that, Jiz attacks Emperor of Heaven with lightning speed. Seeing the opponent attacking, Tai Yi arrogantly says, "You're underestimating yourself," then releases a powerful demon clan force towards the front. The two fierce forces rapidly move towards each other, creating a tense atmosphere. Suddenly, a crack appears in the space, shooting out powerful lightning bolts. The attack immediately shifted towards the nearby mountain peak, creating a shocking explosion. Seeing the unusual situation, Tai Yi widened his eyes in astonishment, carefully observing. At the same time, Di Jiang shouted loudly, "Even though our two clans are fighting, you should not provoke like this." Then Di Jiang waved his hand forward, creating a large crack in the space and shouted, "Warriors of the Witch clan, join forces with us to punish the demon clan." On the side of the Emperor of Heaven, he also shouted orders, "Our people of the demon clan, for many years the Witch clan has been pressuring us, and now they have killed our demon saint. This grudge is irreconcilable. Charge and kill them all for our empire, eradicate this rebellious Witch clan." Jiz, with a face full of hatred, roared loudly, "Warriors of the Witch clan, let's attack and annihilate this demon clan." The crowd of Witch clan warriors immediately launched attacks, facing off against the demon beasts roaring in front of them. The two forces with hundreds of thousands of soldiers clashed, exchanging techniques, invoking the great Tao power continuously roaring. Yi Xian stood by, silently observing the demon clan members in front of him killing each other. Seeing his numbers decreasing, he quickly raised his hand to invoke the formula, using fire energy spheres to attack straight towards the demon clan. Each hand movement controlling the fire energy sphere flexibly, passing through each demon clan member and ending their lives. After killing one, the system announcement made him freeze. "Congratulations, host has unlocked the hidden mission, fighting alongside the Witch clan. The mission objective now is to help the Witch clan achieve victory. Every time the host kills a demon clan member, they will receive breakthrough points." After receiving the announcement, he pursed his lips in a dilemma. What should I do now? If I kill too many demon clan members, I might not have a breakthrough when this battle ends. I have to repay the favor of Ho-Tu Empress, but I still need to find another way. While he was contemplating, a little demon sneaked up to attack him. Realizing he was being attacked, he quickly controlled the fire energy sphere to pass through the body of the little demon, causing him to die instantly. "Do not bother me while I am thinking." The system once again rang out, "Congratulations to the host for killing a warrior of the demon clan, receiving 2,000 breakthrough points." Hearing the system announcement, Yi Xian was extremely angry. Seeing the intense evil energy emanating from Yi Xian, the demon clan members next to him were extremely frightened, returning to the battle between Di Jiang and the Emperor of Heaven along with Tai Yi. "Huang Di, Tai Yi, today our Witch clan will judge Hong Huang." As for Yi Xian, he was continuously slaughtering the demon clan members rushing towards him. "Why do you all like to seek death so much?" Suddenly sensing a strong aura behind him, he turned to observe, the dense spiritual weapon energy vibrating in the air. While Di Jiang and the Emperor of Heaven were fighting, seeing the overwhelming power in front of him, Yi Xian was amazed. With a worried look on his face he sighed, "This is too dangerous." Looking at the tense battle unfolding, Yi Xian was extremely worried. The battle between the two tribes is difficult to determine the outcome. It is important to pay attention to Huang Di and Di Jiang. Huang Di at this time summoned the three-legged golden crow at full power, standing amidst the roaring great Tao. "You guys do not know your fate, nor do you understand the heavenly opportunity. Surely you will have to fall. In this vast Hong Huang realm, there is only one supreme ruler, the demon clan." As he finished speaking, the power of the three-legged golden crow immediately surged, creating an explosion of fiery energy that shook the heavens and the earth, spreading a dazzling light over a wide area. The warriors of the Witch clan were amazed, while the little demons took advantage of the opportunity to rush forward and ruthlessly slaughter the Witch clan warriors. Yi Xian stood firm, calmly waving his hand to take out each demon clan member. "I just need to help Di Jiang defeat Huang Di so that this battle can end soon. And I can earn breakthrough points," he said before using spatial law to instantly teleport to Di Jiang's location. Seeing Yi Xian's sudden appearance, Di Jiang was slightly surprised. "Yi Xian, my young friend, you are able to comprehend spatial law as well. Yi Xian immediately shouted, Di Jiang, which ancestor, let us unleash the law of power together. Hearing this, Di Jiang was extremely surprised. In front of the Emperor of Heaven, the combination of Di Jiang's spatial rifts and the power of the law was a display of overwhelming strength. Seeing their united power, Huang Di was somewhat shocked and taken aback. In an instant, Yi Xian used space law to bring all three into another space. Huang Di felt surrounded by the space law, showing a worried expression and asking, is this a space law? Di Jiang next to him signaled to Yi Xian, can the two of us use the space law together to forcibly move the quasi-saint? Huang Di then summoned a demon sword containing fiery power, gripping the sword tightly and charging towards Yi Xian and Di Jiang with an angry expression, you are just wasting your efforts. His sword immediately slashed towards Di Jiang, who also raised his hand to block. The two energy sources clashed and exploded in the air, scattering countless fragments everywhere. Yi Xian stood by and witnessed this event. Saying, I never thought I would be able to witness a battle between the saints, there is truly nothing to regret anymore. Suddenly, the system announced to disrupt Yi Xian's emotions, congratulations, host has completed the mission of fighting between witch, demon, receiving 500,000 breakthrough points, the current mission is to help Di Jiang defeat Huang Di. Huang Di gripped the demon sword in his hand and glanced ahead, silently musing, I thought that if I intervened, I could easily seize the witch clan. I never expected to be trapped here by Di Jiang and Yi Xian. Just then, a rift in space appeared, catching Huang Di off guard. Immediately after, an attack came from Di Jiang. Fortunately, Huang Di reacted in time, swiftly using his demon sword to block. The collision of their powerful forces released a surge of energy. With a smug look, Huang Di gazed arrogantly at Di Jiang as his demon sword shattered Di Jiang's technique, leaving Di Jiang in a vulnerable position amidst the shattered space fragments, as Di Jiang fell into a disadvantageous position. Huang Di pressed on, thrusting his sword directly at Di Jiang. Suddenly, a bright explosion illuminated the space. Despite his vigilant defense, Huang Di sensed potential trouble. Continuing like this will lead to unforeseen consequences. I must find a breakthrough strategy, he thought. Suddenly, he noticed a beam of breakthrough light shining nearby, prompting his curiosity. Who is breaking through at this moment, he wondered. No one else but Yi Xian was breaking through again, and the system simultaneously issued a notification. The Heavenly Earth Refining Magical Talent Technique has been activated, absorbing half of the breakthrough points. Congratulations, host, on breaking through the first level of the Heavenly Earth Refining Magical Talent Technique. Your body has been automatically strengthened. Huang Di, upon realizing that Yi Xian was the one breaking through, revealed a mix of resentment and excitement. Di Jiang, standing nearby, emerged from the rift and looked towards the heavenly Tao breakthrough light, muttering, this is not good. Suddenly, from above, the three-legged golden crow appeared out of nowhere and rushed towards the rift in space. Seeing this, Di Jiang startled in horror, while Huang Di, from a distance, laughed loudly, ha ha ha, Di Jiang, you are indeed reckless to turn back. It was then that Di Jiang realized he had fallen into Huang Di's trap, filling him with rage. Outside, the demon clan warriors were mostly subdued by the witch clan fighters, and a battle between Jiz and Tai Yi, along with other witch ancestors, was raging. Seeing Huang Di's appearance, he was utterly surprised. Huang Di simultaneously created a glowing energy sphere emitting a brilliant light and shouted, brothers, strong demon clan, join forces with me to confront the North Star Soul Witch clan, and eradicate them completely. Inside were two types of scrolls, the map formed a large array of magic, and countless spiritual weapons and shards of laws appeared all around the earth and sky, causing a commotion. After observing the enemy, Di Jiang hurriedly shouted, brothers, junior sister, follow me to form a 12 guardian angels formation, and together, we will destroy that ambitious demon clan. The witch ancestors immediately united and looked at each other, forming a large formation. Di Jiang's whole body was now surrounded by a dense layer of brilliance, with wings emitting a radiant light, his serious expression focused forward with the power to destroy. Yi Xian just woke up and anxiously looked around with a worried expression. Where are Huang Di and Di Jiang? What is this situation? It was only then that he noticed the battlefield. What about the original peace battlefield? After a moment, he used spatial law to transform into a five-colored wind and left the place, now outside witnessing the formation of the battle between Demon Clan and Witch Clan. Yi Xian, after seeing it, widened his eyes in astonishment. This is not good, not enough of the 12 witch ancestors. I must support Di Jiang. The system then sounded an alert, causing him even more uneasiness. The system has detected the Northern Dipper star array formation and is currently undergoing automatic replication. Di Jiang was surprised to see Yi Xian's presence. Why can Yi Xian, little friend, also deploy this formation? Could it be that he also has the Guzhou bloodline? Following that, Di Jiang raised his hand straight up to the sky, emitting an extremely powerful force, all based on the 12 celestial angels formation. Di Jiang continued to use the power of the formation, causing the entire heavens and earth to tremble. Heavenly Tao also condensed, while the great Tao thunderbolt continuously struck down below. Huang Di, witnessing this, was extremely shocked. How could this happen? Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please support me with a like, a share, and a subscribe. Sincerely thank you all.